Warning. The voices heard in this video are made synthetically using artificial intelligence. Nothing in this video reflects anything actually stated by the real-life individuals involved. This video is for entertainment purposes only, and serious political content will be avoided for that purpose. Enjoy.
Before you fall into despair, the boys are back with romance in the air, a lore-seeking and waifu-searching pair. Welcome back, viewers.
Obama is back for his monthly 30-minute episode before me and Donald have to do the actual heavy lifting again.
Yeah, I am glad we get our 15-minute break with Obama before we start up our 2-hour-long episodes again.
All right, you two, I know my first episode was on the shorter side, but this episode today should be way more jam-packed. I am going to tackle Cassandra's companion quest and then clear through all of the Western approach, which is like the third largest area in the game in terms of quest lines and content.
Yeah, I wonder what the largest area was and who already tackled that. Anyways, we can already do Cassandra's quest line. We just got a Skyhold last episode. I thought we had to go deeper in the plot first, before companion quest triggered.
Well, remember Cassandra was the first squad mate we recruited in this game, so it makes sense her quest is available earlier. But yes, other than Cassandra, Bull, and Solus, every other companion quest is triggered by either one or both of the next two main quests being finished. That works out, though, since we can more evenly tackle the companion quests as we go through the series.
Well, if Bull needs a quest tackled, then that's what I will be doing next episode before we handle the Warden business. Anyways, back to the religious muscle. Mommy, we have learned a lot about the Seekers here, like how they don't use lyrium, but nothing as to why we should be helping find the Seekers in the first place.
Cassandra does admit that finding them might not aid our cause, but since she is a Seeker herself, she really wants to know what happened to her friends. Either that or she took that tell all your friends line from Varric to heart and wants to share the smut she just got.
Oh, right, that's a good point. I should bring Varric to Cassandra's quest too for the dramatic irony.
They wouldn't look kindly on the Inquisition. But even so, if there's a chance, if we can spare resources.
Well, Cassandra's quest normally takes 30 minutes to an hour of war table time to find the Seekers. But with our mod, we can immediately find it during our war table section in a minute. We aren't done with our big girls cutscenes, though. We have a lot to get through today with what I have planned.
By plans, he means baby oil poetry and some morning dove mating calls.
I told both of you about the morning doves in confidence.
Well, if you wanted it to stay in confidence, you shouldn't have dragged us in a 2-year-long series through the Dragon Age games, Barry. Sometimes we need things to talk about, but we can try to get back on topic. Like, isn't this conversation here different if we are a female Inquisitor?
Yes, okay, thanks for that one, Joe. In both conversations here, Cassandra brings up Andraste, but if you are a female Inquisitor yourself, Cassandra compares you to Andraste in the sense that you're both women leading the people and changing the world, and how rare that is in history.
That conversation has to be hella ironic if you're a female Inquisitor who has played a female Hawk and Warden. At that point, the girls had been the only thing carrying the last century of history.
You can bring that up too in the conversation and call her out a little. The writers really did think of everything here. I guess in this instance, though, we are going to do the flirting path here. Can't lie. I don't think I have ever seen this dialogue option.
Perhaps not. But it takes precious little effort to paint even an act of compassion as damaging.
It's been a lot of work, but we have reached the warm conversation mark, and she is ready to admit she admires me. We are so in now, boys. The poetry slam session is about to begin.
Ha! Slam session, that was actually kind of clever, Barry. Good one.
Bro probably practiced that one in the mirror before he got in the Oval Office to record. Anyways, it might not be as fun as Isabella's or Mommy Morrigan's moves, but the muscle mommy definitely has some book smut ideas she can try on us. And the religious girls always get a little freaky. You're in for a treat.
What you have done. You were a prisoner, accused and reviled, yet you've emerged from every trial victorious. The Maker's grace does not make you immortal. You live or die by your own hand. That is worthy of admiration.
All right, now that the gooning on my end is done, it's time for the confession, Mommy Cassandra. I may list every companion's approval ratings, but your approval is the only one guiding me in Inquisition. You're the co-pilot to my heart.
Damn, I remember when he said that to me when we first won in 2007.
Clearly, you haven't been paying attention.
Haven't I?
All right, I don't know who is the cheesiest one here, Obama, Joe, or our Inquisitor, because Bro did not eat with that one.
Okay, the Inquisitor might not have the natural charisma of Hawk or Shepard, but he makes up for it with effort and dedication. Bro is one of the only protagonists that has relationship quests and puts effort into his waifus instead of just sweet-talking them.
Well, I don't know about that. Shepard and Hawk can slay giant monsters just to score. Meanwhile, the Inquisitor just buys flowers or trims their pubic hair to their waifu's name. I'm not sure if that's actually impressive.
Sleepy, I don't know who you are referencing, and I don't want to know. I guess we aren't done with Cassandra yet. Obama has to know about what her favorite smut book is.
cannot be spared to help search for the missing Seekers, Inquisitor. Still, it could involve a threat we are unaware of. There may be a use in looking.
Asking if she is romantic is going to be very relevant once we complete her quest, Donald. Besides, she is speaking nothing but facts. What's not to like about being swept away in romantic passion?
All right, as sus as that sounded, I can't lie. Her liking romance and having a sweet girly side under all of her violence and tank stats is
Romance
endearing.
is not the sole province of dithering ladies in frilly dresses. It is passion. It is being swept away by the pursuit of an ideal. What is not to like about that?
Don't get me wrong. I like this side of you.
I don't swoon.
I meant the passion.
Ah, well, that's...
Well, Cassandra still
not
has
so
plenty of
bad,
screen
then.
time this episode, so let's check on someone else. And God damn it, this is not who I meant when I said that.
Well, we skipped over his conversation last episode due to time constraints, and he does still have some dialogue left to explore.
Okay, but why is the egg being sassy with us like we aren't his goddamn superior officer? Where's the brig? I will throw him in there myself.
I don't think Solus officially joined the Inquisition outside of combat. He doesn't really have to follow our orders or even like them. That being said, this is definitely one of those early windows that what Solus is telling us isn't the full truth. He is super defensive here about knowing anything about Corypheus, and he is also super emotional about him controlling the Elven Orb.
Him controlling the orb, though, is explained by it being an important elven relic that's wielded by a Tevinter Magister who has probably killed thousands of elven slaves and mocks that power of the ancient elves by taking it for himself. Even without Soles's personal investment, I would be pissed at Corypheus if I was elven.
Ah, yes, elf oppression. Every liberal's favorite pastime to whine about. Anyways, I know you like to say the egg bends the truth or distracts instead of straight up lying, but him saying his people had no connection to archdemons is straight up a lie. The archdemons were all thralls to them.
Technically, he says there is no lore connecting the archdemons to elves, not that they aren't connecting.
That's like OJ's lawyers saying there's no evidence, connecting my client to the murder, not that my client isn't a murderer. Also, as much as I talk about Veilguard, I already said anything it says about the Blights is a big mess to me. That was written after the fact. So unless the me wants to dive into that, I won't touch it, and probably just say he is lying here.
You read my mind, Obama. The egg is a liar. Liar plants for hire.
Only thing he got right is the Darkspawn mage is going through a midlife identity crisis, where he isn't a Darkspawn slave, but he still does disgusting Darkspawn activities.
We do have to have one more conversation with him to unlock his companion quest and Fade scene, but we can do that during your next episode, Joe. We have a few other people to check on.
Can you?
The key is understanding this. No real god need prove himself. Anyone who tries is mad or lying.
Well, now that the main villain of Veilguard is done talking about the main villain of Inquisition, let's see who's next on the screen time schedule.
Guess we are doing Dorian next, and now that he is in the party, nothing is stopping Barry from bringing both his waifus along in the party.
I actually am going to bring Dorian as a primary party member, but not for any of your degenerate reasons. I will explain it more when we get to the Western approach. This conversation, though, does reveal that Roderick did truly believe in what we were doing and had full faith in us as the Herald and Inquisitor.
Bro really died with full faith in the protagonist. That is pretty based.
I already gave him praise once, but I guess big ups for the Chancellor, bro. At least respected us, so I will try to do the same. Thanks for leading the army to the secret passages. Anyways, Obama, what's the plan for talking to Dorian, or do you just want to hear his voice?
I am talking to Dorian right now, though, because Joe had a point. He is one of the only companions that doesn't have any approval gain one way or the other. It's time we fix that. Plus, we can learn about a culture we really haven't covered much yet.
Are we going to get into the infamous slave conversation? Because believe me, I have my popcorn ready for that reveal.
No, Donald, we have an agenda to get through. I really just want to hear from Dorian about his opinions and background. You're more than welcome to ask him about it during your next episode, though.
Fuck no, Obama. I'm too busy giving the viewers Royal Robe and Iron Bull content to be bothered with that. Dorian's all you, so go right ahead and learn about his favorite food and star sign.
Well, it won't be star signs, but we are about to learn about the eugenics situation going on in Tevinter, as if that country couldn't be cartoonishly evil enough.
Purposely creating robes? That sounds like my personal hell and another reason to press the big red button.
I mean, in a society where only mages get full freedoms, it makes sense that they would want as many mages as possible. What is surprising to hear, though, is that Tevinter is actually on a steady decline. Fenris never really gave that impression in Dragon Age 2, but if Dorian can see it firsthand, it must be worse than people will admit.
I guess that explains why so many of them turn to cartoon villainy to make money. It doesn't explain how involved in foreign affairs they get when they are able to attack Kirkwall every other Tuesday and pillage other countries' alienages with a fake plague on Fridays.
I don't even know if the slavers were actually citizens or just mercenaries. And I don't want to know it would just slow down pushing the button.
Okay, what button are we even talking about? I know Dorian is getting into the faults right now, but he is actually going to paint Tevinter in a more diverse brush. Even with 2 games of treating Tevinter like the biggest threat to national security, we now learn that not only is the city really not as big of a threat as we thought, but it also even has some gems as well.
They really describe Tevinter like it's Rome or Greece, where it's a thriving old city, but then when we go to it in-game, we see drones and spotlights and other nonsense.
Well, we can just ignore that representation. That's what a man of the people does. Even if Tevinter is a historical and passionate city, why the hell does it oppress everyone not a mage, while also being passionate about slavery?
I mean, to be fair, Dorian says they are passionate, not what exactly they are passionate about. Dragon Age still has a long way to go to redeem Tevinter, and truthfully, I have no clue if they ever will, but Dorian really is the one man who I believe can do it.
It is interesting to note that just like Sten in Origins, Dorian is homesick over his country. He misses the little things and has big hopes for the future. He also returns from this journey with a renewed strength and willingness to take charge of his people, and actually is promoted as a result of his work here.
Comparing him to the ball of anxiety is not endearing me to him.
Not a bad take from you at all, Joe. I didn't even consider that. Hell, Dorian and Sten might even get along if their countries weren't in permanent war with each other. Anyways, let's circle back to that controlled breeding topic, since just like most other BioWare squad mates, Dorian's parents were pretty shitty.
I mean, BioWare parents being shitty is just par for the course. I am more just scratching my head as to how mage eugenics works and why you would want a robe son to begin with.
Political and status reasons, mainly. If you're a respectful politician and want your child to inherit your noble house, you need them to be a mage, his magical strength. Something that can be inherited, though. I thought it was all stamina and knowledge.
That's a good question, and the short answer is yes. Obviously, if you have a spirit-sensitive mage or a dreamer, they would be magically stronger than an average mage. But I also believe different people can be more attuned to the Fade than others, and that can increase your magical strength as well. Dorian is definitely stronger than the average mage after all. Magical power is probably broken down by genes, knowledge, and endurance, of course. Blood magic tips all 3 of those scales heavily as always.
Years of mage pride and careful breeding wasted.
All right, the robe might be one of the magisters, but at least he isn't above killing the other magisters. We have at least one Minecraft tile of common ground.
Not what I would prefer, but I will take that as progress. Let's go check on how Blackwall is doing after hearing about the Warden calling in Crestwood.
And also killing a lightning dragon. Don't forget the lightning dragon.
Blackwall was really acting like a tsundere, talking about his woodworking hobby, and I have no idea why.
Probably doesn't want the Manosphere to find out he isn't fighting or lifting weights, so they take away the beard oils he covets. Also, you are very welcome for hiring you at this company without so much as a background check.
To be fair, did we do a background check on anyone in the inner circle? We just kind of met face to face and said we like your vibes, come along.
We at least confirmed Iron Bull's background. We saw he had a merc band that could fight, and we found out he is a Ben Hassereth spy.
That wasn't a background check, Donald. It was just him telling us he was a spy. Anyway, we might not have run a background check since Blackwall is about to get into his backstory now.
So did his mom die, or was his dad a piece of shit, or is it C, all of the above?
No, we don't learn anything about his family life for once. Instead, we're going to learn Bro is a competent fighter, and that he won the Free March Grand Tourney.
Big deal, the human noble Warden and Nathaniel both have won tourneys. What's so special about this one?
Put aside his own ambitions to help me win the melee. I don't think
I'll just let Blackwall explain this one, boys.
Blackwall, we are Dalish. We don't exactly vibe with human society and their festivals.
So, some extra obscure observations about the Grand Tourney, since this is the only time it's brought up.
Oh shit, he's doing the observations again, Sleepy?
The summer sword that Sir Catherine wields was actually commissioned celebrating a Chevalier's victory of the Grand Tourney, although it's unclear why Sir Catherine had an Orlesian sword. Nathaniel's mentor, who he squired, was also a winner of the Grand Tourney. Finally, Blackwall and Varric will both invite the Inquisitor to the Grand Tourney in between this game and Trespasser, although it seems we were too busy to attend.
If the Grand Tourney is in the free marches, I wonder if we would have seen it in person during the cancelled Exalted March DLC. Having Hawk enter the tourney maybe with one other companion in tow would have been absolutely peak.
All right, The elimination tournament, similar to the Origins, proving but larger scale, would have been absolute cinema. Probably the most fun I could have in Dragon Age 2 that wasn't killing robes.
I am actually amazed at the missed opportunity there. I have to imagine they just bluntly forgot about the Grand Tourney when writing Dragon Age 2. Anyways, I bet Blackwall wishes he took the deal after all, considering where he ended up after he won was running a mercenary band for Orlesian nobles.
Yeah, I know you two like forgiving war crimes, but I, for one, don't ever forget them. Anyways, we should really check to see if this guy is hearing Darkspawn voices or not, so we know to put his ass in containment or not.
Oh, right, that was my original plan. I got distracted talking about the obscure observations and didn't know he had his warm conversation already prepared.
I think at this point we have done so many quests and war table missions that everyone but Sarah and Dorian are at warm approval.
What sort of corruption?
Corypheus. He's been known to influence the minds of wardens.
You mean hearing voices besides the normal Darkspawn voices, right, buddy?
Oh boy, it's a good thing Wardens can just choose to turn off the calling and Darkspawn voices at will. Why didn't POTUS or Anders think of that?
Yeah, that voices line is the biggest red flag that he isn't telling us something, since he clearly doesn't know what the taint does to someone. But we are going to move on. Now we have one more person I want to talk to, and I think it's someone we can all agree with this time, boys. Let's check on Josie again.
I am surprised she has another scene already, considering I just talked to her last episode.
There's never too much Merchant Princess content, Sleepy. Obviously, this is a massive win for humanity.
I think they gave Josephine more content than the other two advisors, since she is an original character to this game, as opposed to a long-time returning character, hence why she has double the character cutscenes, although I am sure someone will add up and fact-check us there.
Just did a quick YouTube search, and yeah, Josie definitely has more in terms of content by about 30 minutes. I think you may be onto something, Obama. The only two larger romances in terms of content are Cass and Solus.
Damn, I guess our viewers knew what romances would take up the most content. We were really always destined for 2-hour episodes, no matter who won. I think this conversation is what locks in her romance if we wanted to do the ultimate reverse card on our viewers.
No, it isn't. And suggest cheating on Cassandra again, and I will delete the POTUS save so you can never go back to Morrigan's romance whenever you want.
Jesus, it was a joke. No need to go straight for the jugular like that nerd Bama. I didn't spend 2 whole episodes being a holy knight just to fumble that Cassandra approval.
You can't fuck with the waifus. Double D, it's the unspoken rule. Anyways, Josie, we make time for all our squad mates, waifu or no. So feel free to yap to us. It's the main reason we give the first 20 minutes to the companions in these videos anyway.
Or 50 minutes if you go back to last episode. But who is keeping track? I have to admit, Josie and the Inquisitor's friendship is one of my favorites. Most squad mates airdrop their trauma left and right, but Josie actually takes us out and yaps about her drama instead.
I mean, it's not really my preferred side. I would have hopped on the game and get called multiple slurs with the boys, but to each their own. At least we get an absolute peak view to go with our yap spree.
Damn, Josie really has beef with like half of the squad mates. I know Sarah likes to directly prank her and the other nobles, but Dorian and Cole are really just kind of vibing here. If you don't give them grief, they won't give you grief.
At least Josie doesn't have beef with someone like Bull or Mommy Cassandra. I imagine they would take it way more personally and aggressively than a spirit of compassion would.
I'm guessing Blackwall is also glad that Josie doesn't have any complaints about him either.
Wait, why would Blackwall care, bro? Seems pretty chill.
You'll probably find this out later in the playthrough, Joe, but banter with Blackwall and Cole reveals that Blackwall has a massive crush on Josie and often, fantasizes about her in his free time. However, regardless of who is romance, this doesn't go anywhere.
And that can't stop. I must be going. But I leave feeling less troubled than I...
Now I guess it's time for Obama's second favorite part of the episode, the war table narration. Please tell me there's an option to party wipe some elves.
No, Donald, the Lavalin quest doesn't continue until at least one other main quest is solved. We can, however, find out the spy that sold out Butcher and Crestwood.
I saw an animation about that interrogation, and let me just say it was absolute cinema, boys. Haha.
Okay, yeah, no one wants you to continue that sentence. Sleepy, let's move on to the next quest. Looks like our based brother Balin is willing to ally himself with the Inquisition and give us some little guys as well as some money. Harrowmont would never...
Surprisingly, this quest doesn't change regardless of King Choice. Harrowmont will give the same troops and sigil as Balin would. Next up, we have a quest from another brother, that being King Alistair.
Oh, hell yes. Looks like we can hunt down the Venatori responsible for the Haven attack and help Alistair out in the process. It's time to get another lick in for what they did at Haven Cullen. Go ahead and send the Templars in.
Surprisingly Templar-pilled of you, Joe. I'm impressed that you didn't just send in the basic bard. Looks like we curbed the mages and Alistair gave us some money for our trouble. What's next on the agenda, Obama?
Well, instead of the Lavalin questline, we can continue another multiple mission arc with the search for the hack writer. We know that someone is copying Varric's Hard and Hightown novels, and that they have Merchants Guild contacts. We can either hire the Crows or have the Kirkwall Guard look into it. Considering Cullen has a contact in the Guard, let's go with that. I trust my big girl Aveline and her allies.
Looks like Cullen's contact was the baddie Brennan. I didn't know Cullen had game like that, but considering his romance popularity, it makes sense. I will go next, and good lord, is that a lot of text walls. I ain't reading all that. Barry, help me out here.
It's just summarizing the second chapter of Hard and Hightown and how there is a string of murders in Kirkwall, referencing those chapters. We can either keep trusting the Guard and backing them up, or we can use Leliana and go our own way.
Well, as much as I love my beautiful bard, I trust the guardsmen that we spent a whole game building up as well. So let's keep letting Aveline tackle this one.
I think we get the same outcome either way, but it's nice to see the big girl still get some action even in the next game.
Well, with the war table missions cleared for now, and the Seekers tracked down to a Ferelden fort, it's time to finally help my girl with her mission.
Ban Loren is a pious, unassuming man. What has he become involved in?
Might simply be a victim as well.
Let's see what lies within.
Knock knock, anyone home?
Damn, that one door guard got shot and then ran through before he could even think of an attack.
Well, that will teach him to mess with the Seekers. Oh, and I guess not locking the front door when you're on guard duty.
Damn, level 11 still? These level caps haven't switched since the Haven attack at this point. Corypheus is only going to be level 12 or something.
He could be level 30 and it still won't save him from the curb. We will put his jaw on when we are done with him. It's one thing to threaten the Inquisition, but threatening my real-life vibes is unacceptable.
Maintaining the vibes is our top priority.
Okay, we might be getting slightly off track here. Let's pull together and recenter. We won't be showing too much of this fight because these guys are just normal knights that we have fought several times in the Templar and Bandits forts. I did want to showcase Dorian's build a little. We are going a basic Necromancer build, maxing out everything in his tree except an add-on for the Horror spell. That way, eventually Dorian will be able to debuff everything while gaining health and mana for every kill an enemy debuffed. I am also going to go heavy into lightning and barrier spells, since the barrier tree is overall very broken.
Well, Obama, just like every other time you try to bring a mage, the friendly fire ends up killing the fuck out of you more than the actual enemies do.
Oh right, walking bomb. Well shit, I hope that doesn't become a trend, because even mommy Cassandra barely survived that.
Necromancer is weird. It's hard to believe they took the Origins spirit tree and made it a whole specialization. It's honestly the middle of the road option for mage specializations. It isn't as blatantly broken as Knight Enchanter, but it has more broken combos than something like Rift Mage does. I think one of those broken combos we can go over in the Western approach with a certain item.
I think I know what amulet you are talking about, Joe, and that is something to look into. Maybe during my next episode. I am more so impressed you know any overpowered combos in this game to begin with. You rarely finish Inquisition, so I am surprised you know any combos.
Well, when it comes to mages, I am always locked in, Barry. You should know this about me by now. Even if I don't play the game, I can still think about the best spells to use for certain situations. Anyways, is this a fourth goddamn cult in Ferelden that is attacking our player characters while holding up in a mountain fort, and the third of this game alone?
All right, I know the comments are going to flood with the statement that this place is the birthplace of Andraste, and that's why there are so many violent cults, but this is getting ridiculous now. Big bro Alistair needs to keep these Ferelden cults under control. Otherwise, people are going to start thinking we are just a large bandit cult ourselves.
They are deranged. This explains why the Seekers might be here, but not the connection to Corypheus. A Seeker. Did they torture him to death?
Damn, we got another man
promises
down.
will pay
This
for
cult
this.
is definitely more sadistic than the other two. Honestly, at this point, I will take the Blades or the Doomsday cult. They could at least be reasoned with.
The Promisers are a doomsday cult, but they want to start the end of the world themselves, not wait for it. Honestly, these guys can be seen as the great cons of the Dragon Age setting. They are always picking fights with people and getting wiped out, but somehow they always end up surviving and coming back a year later. They were originally formed during the First Blight after the Imperium's collapse, and were taking advantage of the weakened Imperium to form a religious order, eventually trying to piggyback on Andraste's message, claiming the Maker would only save the world if the world is truly destroyed. They constantly did battle with other Andrastians until the Inquisition came along and formally wiped them out. However, once Ameridan vanished and the Inquisition split into the Seekers and the Templars, the Order came back claiming to be the Inquisition again. The Seekers have since been responsible for keeping their numbers down, which is why they have beef with the Seekers personally. But just like the Great Khans, they can never truly die.
These guys are like goddamn cockroaches. It's easy to curb them and beat them down, but they hardly ever die.
Another interesting fact about the Promisers is that apparently the Order once took an interest in the Astrariums, as the Astrariums were believed to be holding the Veil together, and destroying them would blow up the Veil and end the world. The Order took it upon themselves to destroy all Astrariums in order to fulfill their destiny, but they did not manage to destroy them all. I am assuming the Seekers probably killed enough of the ones trying that they just kind of gave up on that dream.
Low-key, that's kind of a L on the Seekers' part. If they successfully destroyed them all, I wouldn't be bored to tears watching Joe try to solve them or you yap about them every episode.
Hey man, I solve them pretty quick, and they usually offer pretty good loot too. I am glad they eventually stopped, so we get our top-tier loot. Anyways, hopefully this time when we curb them, they stay down, so they don't go after the shard finders next, thinking that they are stabilizing Earth's gravity or something.
Look, they might be an evil cult, but if they can remove some of the background tedium in this game, I am all for it. Looks like Cassandra is going to find out what seasonal beef the cult has with the Seekers at the moment.
The Elder One has seen fit to place them in your care. Reclaim your destiny, and know that the Elder One expects your devotion as repayment. Signed by Magister
Oh, great.
Calpurnia,
Looks like they are following the
leader
Saturday
of the
cartoon
Venatori.
villain Corypheus
Does
and his
Corypheus
resident
not
mage
realize the
waifu,
promises
just
want
because
the
it's the
world to
evil
end?
thing to do.
What
The
use
note would
are
be
they to
signed by
him?
Samson instead if we sided with the mages. As dumb of a reason as
Sounds
it is
like
to
they're
side with
perfect for each
Corypheus,
other.
unlike other more intelligent
suppose
people
it
siding
does.
with him, the Order following him does
this
make some
doesn't
sense.
explain how
They
he
simply want to
captured the
destroy
Seekers
the
in the
current
first
world,
place,
which is
or
something
what's
our
been done
Corypheus
with them.
wants as well.
We must
Even if
keep
it's siding
looking.
with blighted atheist, it still gets the Promisers, what they ultimately
letter
want.
said Seekers
I mean,
were
they are just going to
resistant
get blighted by Darkspawn or ganked by
abilities
demons
grant
serving
us
this
many
guy,
gifts,
but I guess
but
as
the
long as the
resistance
world
to Red
ends,
Lyrium's
these
corruption.
guys get their rocks
That seems
off.
strange.
Also, is there a
Although it
lore
would
reason why
explain why
Seekers
none
are
have
immune
numbered among
to
the
Red
Red
Lyrium?
Templars.
Like this
And
shit
thus
fucks
Seekers
up
would be
Templars and
useless
Dwarves
to
left and right,
Corypheus.
but Seekers
He
just
would
shrug
have
it
no
off?
leash to
The
hold
note
us.
said, resistant, not immune. We are about to see that Red Lyrium still can
find
blight
them,
and kill
Cassandra.
them. But the normal addiction
I
or the
know we
insanity
will.
that Red Lyrium
One
can
way
cause
or
seems
another.
to have no effect on them. Seekers also are mostly immune to blood magic and mind control because of their training and initiation. So I imagine Red Lyrium's mental effects are also
Daniel.
resisted by the Seekers.
Well, it looks like we are about to see those
Can you
other
hear me?
effects in action, because this dude doesn't look so good, Mr. Stark.
Hey, buddy, you have a little something everywhere on your face there.
Inquisition blight poisoning looks
are
way
you.
worse than in Origins.
I'm
I still
so
remember
glad
when
I
having the
found
blight just made you look blind and really tired. Now it makes you look like a tweaker
demon
that nurses
inside
would
me.
love, since they could always find a
me
vein.
up.
Wait, is this
What?
blight poisoning
You
or a
can't be
demon's work?
possessed.
Because Bro just
That's
said he had a demon
impossible.
inside him.
I'm not
Cassandra's reaction
possessed.
makes it clear a demon
They
doesn't make sense. Bro is probably
me
sick with
things.
fever and doesn't understand what the
I can
blight is,
feel
and
it
when he hears the
growing.
calling, he thinks it's demons whispering to him.
Damn poor guy. Imagine
What could they
having
hope to
base
gain
Demon
from
Slayer
this?
training only to get rocked,
Our
not in
powers,
combat, but by the
revenge.
blight COVID-20
Who
special.
knows?
Anyways, Obama,
The Lord
Cassandra
Seeker.
seems really concerned over this
You
guy.
have
Is
to
this
find
someone she
him.
told you not to
Of
worry
course
about?
we'll find
First of
him.
all, I think we beat
If
him
he
out in the looks
lives,
department
we'll-
anyway. But
Lucius
secondly,
betrayed
no,
us,
this isn't the
Cassandra.
X. This is Cassandra's apprentice
sent
who
us
stayed
here,
with the Templars
one by
instead of
one.
following Cassandra.
An important
Cassandra
mission,
describes
he
him
said.
as overly attentive, almost
Lies.
annoyingly so, believing he could
He
still
was here
learn
with
from
them
her
all
even
along.
though he was well past being
He's
a new
still
Seeker.
working with
Apparently, after hearing Varric retell the story about Hawk and Talus, she had Daniel
have been
attempt
the
to
demon
find
from
Talus and
Farrenfall?
acquire her expertise
No.
for the Chantry,
The
but
demon
obviously he failed
came
there.
later.
Bro is not going to pull my
But
cutie
a demon
Talus.
couldn't
Not by
simply
being a
take
green
his place
seeker,
without
and definitely
anyone
not with a
noticing.
face like that.
I
The
knew
Lord
the Envy
Seeker
Demon was a
allowed it.
cowardly rat, but the Lord Seeker
let
being a
the
demon-loving
demon take
bitch is
command while
unthinkable.
he
None of this shit would have happened if the
came
Templars
here.
were under Mommy Meredith's watch.
Donald, if Meredith
we
was
find
still
the
in
Lord
charge, the
Seeker,
Red
he's
Templars
dead.
would all be ascended.
Wait.
Level drug addicts don't even try with that unnecessary
Don't leave me like
glaze.
this,
So
please.
envy demons are basically changelings. Like they kidnap someone, learn about them, then mimic them.
You
I
should
wonder
have
who
come
approached
with
who. Did the Lord Seeker
You didn't
really walk
believe
up to
in the war
Corypheus
any more than
and
I
say
did.
he wants to run the Templars? Or
You
did
know
Corypheus
me.
walk up to him and
I
somehow
wanted that
bargain with the
promotion.
Lord Seeker to take control?
I have to imagine Samson probably
Go
tried
to
to
the
convince the
Maker's
Lord
side,
Seeker to work
Daniel.
with him. And when Bro
You
was
will be
willing, the
welcome.
Envy Demon and Corypheus just kind of showed up to seal the deal.
And then for some reason, this brain-dead Saturday cartoon villain just accepted it after getting a good look at who he was helping. I mean, there's selfish evil, then there is just insanity.
Rest in peace, Daniel. We hardly knew you, and then you died. Not much else to say, but we will still
He
spin
was
the
my
block for you.
apprentice.
I bet Varric
have
feels
never
awkward
known
about
a
that
finer
no friends
young
comment
man.
now, considering we just
Now
murked one of the only
find
friends
Lord
she had.
Seeker
Well, now
Lucius.
that the dirty business is done, we can kill the traitor himself,
Lord
and he can answer
Seeker
for what he did.
Lucius.
Cassandra,
with a man I can only assume is the new Inquisitor.
Oh God, he really is voiced by Uncle Gamlin. I can't unhear it now. Get his ass off my screen already.
At least him being voiced by Uncle Gamlin means we already know not to trust a damn thing he says.
I think Daniel already did a good job of that himself. Anyways, this conversation really doesn't go anywhere since the Lord Seeker is actually insane and doesn't really have a plan other than to kill the world and start the Seekers anew. But the book he gives us does have some massive lore that we need to get into.
Oh God, more incoming yaps. Batten down the hatches.
Make it better. But what did we create? The Chantry. The Circles of Magi. A war that will see no end.
Hey man, I get feeling guilty over the oppression of the Circles and the Mages, but maybe instead of killing all your guys and snorting red crack with a cult, you could maybe write letters or stage a protest instead.
Joe, look at the people around him. Do they look like the type that stage peaceful protests?
Wait, hold up. If we freed the Templars from the red crack, why are these base Templars over here still snorting the stuff?
Oh shoot, I knew I forgot to mention something about the Promisers. Those aren't actually Templars. Promisers in an effort to look more official to the public wear random Chantry armor like Seeker armor and Templar armor. They either steal it or wear it off the Templars they killed. The choice is up to you.
After the former Lord Seeker was slain. The war with the mages had already begun, but it was not too late for me to do the right thing.
Never mind, I fucking hate these guys again. Kill them like the rest, especially the Lord Asshole over there. I am going to enjoy killing your ass again.
Donald, the first Lord Seeker was an envy demon. We never killed the Lord Seeker himself.
Fine, then I'm looking forward to killing your ass for the first time. Ugh, see, that just doesn't have the same ring to
We
it.
can start anew, a pure beginning. Join us, Cassandra. It is the Maker's will.
All right, Lucius, you picked the wrong day to pull this shit since you're the only thing standing between me and my poetry slam session with Mommy Cassandra, so go ahead and die slow for me.
Bro unlocked the Grand Gunner boost, increasing his damage, and Renegade by 200%.
Well, I don't think he needed all that, because this fight is probably one of the easiest fights we have done so far in the series.
Yeah, we are 2 levels over them, and none of them are promoted. They are absolutely cooked.
Damn, and this was the boss battle for this mission too. At least we had Varric finish it off with his based ultimate.
What's the rewards for killing this guy? We at least get some half-decent loot for this mission, even if the fight was simple, right?
Well, he drops the Seeker Shield, a halfway decent shield for Cassandra, a lightning-resistant belt, and a unique Mace Vidithis, which enhances strength and has a Master Demon Slaying rune on it. Even if it's an appropriate Seeker weapon, the Mace is a Quinari weapon carried by Vidithis, which translates to Re-Educator.
So the traitorous Seeker had a horned communist weapon makes sense to me. Now let's go get into the book lore, I guess.
See what's in this book of secrets. This tome has passed from Lord Seeker to
You know it's an
Lord
old book because just
Since
like the
the
first
time of the
Inquisition
Old
tomb Cassandra
Inquisition.
carries around, it has the same
And
symbol
now
on
it
it.
falls
It's also
to
the
me.
same design as the Dragon Age 2 Prima Guides collector's book.
Joe, only you and Nerd Bama care about Prima Guides and their designs.
On the contrary,
Unless you have the limited
it's a delight.
Inquisition Prima Guide, which is worth some money, get on my level.
Oh.
All right, as much as I love hearing about the Prima Guides collection, we should focus on the
Do you
lore
know
here
what
because
the
after
right
seeing
of
what happened to
tranquility
Carl in the
is?
last series,
The
I am
last
fuming
resort
at this
used on
revelation.
mages in
Wait,
the
hold
circle,
up. Who was
leaving
Carl
them
again?
unable to
Sleepy, you
cast
never
but
shut up about
depriving
mage
them of
oppression or
things
Dragon
that
Age
were
2, and yet you don't remember who
It
started
should
this
only
whole
be
incident?
used on those
Carl
who
was my
cannot
boy
control
and his
magic.
main squeeze,
But that
and never
is
was
not
there a
always
finer man
the
alive, and I mean that both ways.
Not going to lie, that is a little sus, my guy.
Good.
My main point of bringing up Carl is that he was begging for death the second he was
Seeker, I
temporarily
looked
freed
into
from tranquility. And this is a
abuses.
trend from everyone that is freed
Mages
from being
made
tranquil.
tranquil as
We had no
punishment.
choice but to kill him
What
in two.
finally
But
began
now we
the
know in
Mage
the next
Rebellion
game that we could have
was
helped him the whole
discovery
time.
The right of tranquility could be reversed. The Lord Seeker at the time covered it up, harshly. There were deaths. It was dangerous knowledge, the shock of its discovery in addition to what happened in Kirkwall. But it appears we've always known how to reverse the right.
Literally
From the
hundreds of
beginning.
mages didn't have to die or start a war if they knew tranquility could be cured, but because it could threaten the status quo, their lives were just acceptable losses.
I would say you finally get it, Sleepy, but I know you're just being sarcastic.
created
Emma have to hear
the
this
right
from
of
Cassandra, though,
tranquility.
because I still don't get why they
I
tranquil
told
the
you of my
Seekers just to
vigil,
cure them,
the
and how they
months I
don't
spent
remember getting a
emptying
funky
myself
sun
of all
tattoo.
emotion. I was made tranquil and didn't even know. Then the vigil summoned the spirit of faith to touch my mind. That broke tranquility and gave me my abilities. The Seekers did not share
Cassandra
that
probably explained it
Not
better
with
than I
me,
could, but the Tranquility
not with the
Seekers
Chantry.
go through as a slow,
Not
subtle
even with-
process, unlike the brand that mages get. So if you don't know that's what they are doing,
more.
it's harder for people to pick up on it.
Lucius
When the
was
spirit
not
of
wrong
faith
about
touches
the
them,
Order.
just like when Wind
I
fused
thought
with the
to
spirit in
rebuild the
Origins,
Seekers once
it gives them
victory was
natural
ours.
spirit powers that make them
Now
adept
I'm
at
not
fighting
certain
demons.
it
It also
deserves to
explains
be
the
rebuilt.
euphoria Cassandra felt when her trial was over. When the spirit touched her, she felt
You
all
said
her
there was
emotions
more in the
flood back
book.
at once, which we
At
see
some
happen with the
point,
cured Tranquil and
power
Asunder.
becomes its
He
own
felt every
master.
emotion more
We
intensely
cast
than normal
aside
because of
ideas
not
in
being able to
favor
feel
of
emotions for
expedience
years and
and
not
tell
being able to
ourselves it
express
was
them.
all necessary
Tranquility is horrible,
for the
but even
peace.
though they don't bring it up
Will
after
that
this
happen to us,
conversation, I assume
Inquisitor?
Cassandra eventually
Will we
releases the
repeat
Tranquility
history?
Cure that she reads, regardless of whether the Seekers are reformed or not, right?
They
No,
better not. The only thing
nothing
keeping
like the
circles in
Seekers.
the green is the
I
Tranquility
wonder how
enchantments.
much we
If we
resemble
lose that, then
the
those
Seekers.
places are just libraries that cost 3 times
I
more
don't
than
think
an
I've ever
average
seen you so
library.
shaken.
Honestly, we have only
I
a
do
small
not
idea
feel
about
the
what happens to
Seekers
the
have been
Tranquil
doing
after
the
this
Maker's
conversation.
work.
Cassandra
Not
says she
truly.
will investigate the side
Perhaps we
effects of the
believed it
cure
once.
because the one
The
Tranquil who was
original
cured became
Inquisition
so
came to
emotional
be
he was
during
seen
a
as too
terrible
dangerous to
time.
be kept as a normal
But now,
mage. One example isn't
harbored
exactly
secrets
concrete
and let
evidence,
them
which is why
fester.
Cassandra
We
will
acted
investigate
to
and reveal the
survive,
cure
but
personally
not
to the
to
Chantry
serve.
eventually.
That
What
is
happens
not
next, I
the
imagine,
Maker's
depends on
work.
how you handled the Mage and Templar
If you did
situation.
rebuild the
If you
Seekers,
willingly
how
recruited
would
the
you do it?
Templars or conscripted the
I
mages,
can't be the
the
only
circles
one
go back to
remaining.
normal, with the
We will
only difference
always
being the
spread to
Tranquil
the
cure is
winds,
known.
and some may
If you
still
freed
be
the
out there.
mages or conscripted
I
the
would find
Templars,
them one
then the
by
circles
one.
likely rule
We would
themselves and
all
don't
read
implement
this book.
tranquility.
No more
So
secrets.
depending on who's
Then
divine, we may
together
or
we
may
will
not even
establish
need to
a new
worry about a
chart.
tranquil cure.
The Maker's
Well, the robes
work
can't
in
breathe
truth.
easy yet since the royal robe will be divine, not the basic
If anyone can
bard.
rebuild them
Oh
into something
Lord, here he goes
worthwhile,
again with
you
this
can.
bullshit.
Well,
But
before
are
the
they
beef
worth
takes over the episode,
rebuilding?
I should probably talk
could
about my
make them
decision here.
worth it.
And there's really only one
I
correct choice in my eyes for this
will
playthrough.
think on your
Since the
words.
flirting option encourages Cassandra to not doubt herself and rebuild the Seekers as a bigger
you.
and better organization.
I could not have done this on my own.
Oh boy, now it's time for the culmination of all our riz to pay off and wife up our religious waifu.
I am just going to warn you guys now, this scene is going to look a little strange with our current Skyhold build.
What do you mean by that, Obama? Wait, hold up, what the hell? How are we walking through support beams? Did we get an X-Men
I was
mutation when I wasn't
hoping
looking,
we
or
could
is this
speak
another
privately.
mod?
Yeah, this is why I gave a heads
Are
up.
we not?
So like I said in episode 4, Skyhold has 3 stages, one where it's completely
Right.
rubble, the second stage where the
course we
rubble is
are.
cleared, but there's scaffolding everywhere symbolizing construction, and the completed base after
The
we finish
flat
one main quest. We are still at
With
the
me.
second stage, and apparently the animators didn't
noticed
account
it.
or notice the conflict.
Unless it is
I guess
my
the game
imagination,
testers must
which
have
is
either
entirely
all
possible.
romanced Cassandra later on in the playthrough or just all simped for Cullen and Josie
No, it's
instead.
not your
Nowadays, this kind of thing would be
You
patched
cannot
out,
quote
and
me
some
if
sweaty
that's your
nerd would
intention.
complain that this game
It's
won Game of the
impossible.
Year over like Destiny.
I low-key would have been one of them, but then I remember Mommy Morgan
is
is
it
in this game
impossible
still, and
exactly?
suddenly I don't care anymore.
That should be obvious.
Well, it isn't obvious to me.
You intend to properly quote me? You of all people.
Is that what you want?
No.
The Inquisitor really stood on business there, and it paid off. So now we have to do like a romance quest for Cassandra
I
before we
take
can
it
lose
back.
our Inquisitor's
That
V-card.
is what I want. I want a man who sweeps me off my feet, who gives me flowers and reads me poetry by candlelight. I want the ideal.
Damn, she wants
You are
candles,
the
poetry, and
Inquisitor
flowers.
the herald of
This is why the
Andraste.
modern man
You
can't get
cannot
ahead
be that man.
waifus be thinking money grows on trees.
Is that what you tell Melania when she asks for
I didn't
flowers?
expect you to feel
Aren't
this
you
way.
like a billionaire?
I mean,
I
I
know
am, but
what
I
you
just kind of
feel.
have my butler handle the romantic
warrior.
gestures.
I am
3
blunt
marriages
and
later, I have
difficult
learned
and
I am not perfect like
self-righteous.
Cell, and
But
just
my
leave the other
heart
things to
lies
someone
beneath
else.
all that.
Jesus
It
Christ.
yearns for these
Well, this
things I
isn't as
cannot
bad as
have.
killing a high dragon for Morrigan or a
cannot
Bardarelle
see
for
that,
Meryl.
then
This is just
desist.
shopping around Orlays
What
and Ferelden
enamors
for
you
what
is
we
but the
need. Every
surface.
companion actually has a romance quest to seal the deal with the exception of Solus, since his relationship is more
I
reserved
can
until
be that
Trespasser.
man, Cassandra.
The world hinges on our actions. We face death at every turn, Inquisitor.
Well, it's not
doesn't
killing a
change how I
fantastical
feel.
creature, but it is visiting
changes
fantasy France, which
everything.
could be even more horrifying depending on the person. Also, hold up, why the hell are we back in the hinterlands? I don't want to see the bears again.
I'm sad the bears and mages aren't harassing you, Sleepy, but this is still entertainment if nothing else, plus I spy a rift here, which means possible shots are abound.
All right, let me explain myself here, boys. So I have to do some miscellaneous kill quests for Dorian and Cassandra, as well as grab some Grey Warden artifacts for Blackwall. I also have to grab the poetry book for Cassandra here, too. too. Finally, Joe, because of the level differences, you weren't able to finish 2 Fade Rifts during your Hinterlands episode. One I finished down by the river in episode 3, and now the very last Fade Rift is here in the Bear Cave. I probably won't show most of the kill quests because they are just normal Mage and Templar fights, but I will show this Fade Rift so we can take a shot, and the poetry quest for Mommy Cassandra.
Obama fairly participating in the drinking game? I am actually amazed. You must really be a changed man now that you're getting your romance option.
Well, at least this is the last time I will have to look at the hinterlands. I cleared out every major quest in episode 2. Donald killed the High Dragon and finished the shards, and now you finished all the rifts and got the poetry book.
I hate to trigger your PTSD again, Joe, but we still have 3 more things left to do in the hinterlands after this. Both Varric, Cole, and Dorian's side quests send us to the hinterlands for their companion quests, albeit 2 of those are in Redcliffe, not the actual hinterlands.
God damn it, that's it. Where's my gun?
Actually, now that I think about it, Solus has a small war table quest where we close a mega rift for some approval too. So make that 4 major quests left after this.
All right, Obama. As much as I would like to see Joe crash out and do a backflip off the White House windows, maybe we should calm down on the hinterlands content, take a shot, and move on to someplace
The honor
new.
is mine, Lady Seeker.
We need strong, righteous warriors. Now more than ever.
Righteous. I praise Cassandra. Many wardens have hardly lived righteous lives.
True. Yet you give yourself to an order that would die to protect others. It is never too late to do better, and become more than what you are.
All right, Blackwall being friendly with Cassandra helped a bit, and I am actually amazed by you of all people suggesting that Donald, but thank you.
Don't be sleepy, I just wanted to move on from the hinterlands too.
The Sundere president strikes again.
Well, here's the bookseller, and of course he doesn't have a book on hand. It's in a sacked caravan. Deeper in the hinterlands, in the interest of not traumatizing Joe more, I will grab the poetry book and the Dorian and Cassandra kill quests off screen, and grab the poetry book while you and Donald grab some snacks. For the poetry book, I don't even have to fight the bandits. I can just grab the book and gallop away.
That's hilarious to imagine, but a drink and snack sounds great right now, and I know Donald wouldn't turn it down.
Fine, but don't pull a Joe and bang Cassandra off screen. The romance was definitely a shared effort, and we all deserve to be there for it.
All right, well, as you can see, I started with the Western approach first anyway, so no worries there. Everyone can be here for our waifu triumph.
Damn, I know you enjoy the Loreberry, but you really traded the waifu romance for the Western approach first. Did you want to get one more flirt in with my beloved Harding for old time's sake?
No, Joe, that's not the reason. First off, I think it's more thematic to have the romance scene last in the episode, and secondly, there is a deal I have to honor to tie up some loose ends before I romance Cassandra.
Loose ends? Well, that sounds ominous as hell. Are we about to join a unitology cult and make us whole?
Did someone mention making whole again?
God damn it, Donald, that is a trigger. Please cease and desist. And no, there's no cult antics. It's just one viewer made a deal to help seal the Cassandra romance for me, and I am going to honor it.
Well, goodbye, my love. I will be sure to take you out on Veilguard and Inquisition dates in my free time. So what's the main missions of the Western approach, Barry?
Well, despite the main quest only taking 10 minutes of time before moving on from here, the Western approach is the 3rd largest area in all of Inquisition in terms of size and content, the other 2 being the hinterlands and Emprise du Lions.
It doesn't feel like the Western approach is that big, but it's probably because there's a lot of little things going around everywhere. There's a fort, a dragon to research, 2 abandoned temples, and a filled temple where the wardens are doing blood magic.
Geez, for a desert wasteland, this place sure gets busy. I'm guessing these notes we found are for the High Dragon?
That's right, Joe. Instead of just wandering into the final area and fighting a dragon, we have to gather some important ingredients using both the war table and just looting around the approach, which makes the fight feel a little more earned instead of just accidentally bumping into your 10th dragon fight. Also, speaking of dragons, here's the first alpha quillback we need for our Artificer quest.
Oh God, I forgot about these things. So not only are there 2 big alphas that you have to kill for this quest, but there's 1 normal quillback in the giant center that randomly drops an alpha spine, and you have to find that one to progress.
Yeah, just like the kill quests, I will find that one off screen and show the 2 fixed alpha locations. It's just a random quillback in the center area by the waterfall viewers. So good luck if you're playing along with us.
What the hell are these things anyway? Like quillback is a fish in real life, but these things look like bird-pig hybrids, like something I would find in Fallout.
Considering how often these things are eaten, I have to imagine quillbacks are some kind of strange flightless bird. They have tusks, which might mean they are ancient, but they have feathers and eyes on their sides, so all roads point to birds. For further proof, at one point in development, quillbacks were referred to as hyena vultures, and as scavengers they had grown large and confident by feeding off the scraps left by high dragons. Now, of course, they are simply high dragon prey.
Who wants to bet they taste like chicken? They look weird, but add some sweet and sour, and I bet they taste great.
A giant hyena vulture might have been scarier than whatever these things are, but I have to give BioWare credit. These things are definitely unique design-wise. Also, I'm guessing that's your next high dragon kill. Up ahead there, Barry.
We're fighting her, right? Tell me we're fighting her, boss.
Yes, and to assure the viewers in Bull, I will be fighting the High Dragon at the end of the episode.
It's time to see if Obama really earned the most High Dragon kills in the series so far, or if he just got lucky in the first 2 games.
I am just glad you both killed a High Dragon, so now the rules let me take one on. I was here thinking I would have to wait for the fake Archdemon at the end of the game to take one on. Anyways, we might as well start with some peak content here and tackle the Still Ruins.
So not only does Obama get to tackle my favorite Dragon Age DLC, but he also gets to tackle my favorite dungeon in the game too? This shit is beyond rigged.
My bad. I guess that's the price of the rotation sometimes.
How could you not know that, Barry? He covered it for his comment question in episode 10 of our Origins series.
Joe, how the hell do you know that?
I don't know. I guess me and Donald are just super tight like that, right? Double D?
No, the fuck we are not, but thank you for remembering anyway, I guess. Even if I am a little salty about missing out on this dungeon, at least I still get to see peak content.
That's the spirit, Donald. And I can give some Obama obscure observations about the area.
I would have said the cutting catalog, but maybe that would be too on the nose.
Extremely so sleepy. Don't bring references into our lore drops. Also, Obamna, I hate to be a nag, but you have been hovering over that Archdemon piece for the last 2 minutes. Can you just pick it up already?
Oh right, Themi, my bad. I forgot you really wanted the mosaic finished. I won't always be able to grab them immediately, but I promise I will give a guide to you and the viewers.
Hell yes, my blighted body is art, and this series must be a canvas.
Damn, that was descriptive. Have you been reading my Liliana and Meryl poetry, Themi?
I am in your brain. I kind of have to read it. Don't get the wrong idea. It isn't good, but damn, if it isn't catchy like a commercial jingle.
Well, let's have Dorian bust down the doors, and let's see what the ruins have to offer.
Damn, between the enemy statues, the frozen debris, and the actual silent background going on here, this area is pure Ouroboros from when you first enter.
I do like the oh shit moment in the first room, seeing all these demons and mages in between a Fade Rift that you know is going to bite you in the ass before you leave.
I already get my tension from Dead Space, but this is a good mix between stressful and cool game design. What are the Venatori even doing in this ruin anyway?
Well, this ruin is an ancient Tevinter ruin. You can tell by the Kirkwall statues and the dragon research notes we find written in ancient Tevinter. We know Corypheus wants a new way to enter the Fade to fuse our worlds, but he doesn't have a clean plan as to how to do that. The Venatori then are just scrambling for more artifacts that their leader can use, which is why we will later see the Venatori in an elven and dwarven ruin.
These guys are really just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
What the hell was that?
I don't know, but it sounded like some nefarious and annoying asshole that we shouldn't have to deal with right now.
Well, how about I get into some obscure observations about this area while I am searching for the rest of the keys?
That title is still a swing and a miss, but I know these keys that look suspiciously like shards are randomly placed at best, so we are going to need something to talk about, so go off, Nerd Bama.
All right, so obviously the artifact they triggered here had some time dilation abilities similar to what happened in Redcliffe had we chose the Mage quest line. Apparently, there were ideas for this ruin to be a connecting piece between the Redcliffe storyline and this ruin. Not only were the Fade Rifts supposed to have time dilations that speed up or slowed down enemies like in Redcliffe, but interacting with artifacts would cause a sort of chaotic incident where some enemies were sped up naturally, while others were slowed down. Eventually, the final artifact would reveal that Alexius came here and learned the spell he used from Redcliffe from this ruin, ending the quest.
Hold up, Iron Bull's talking about boobs.
Are you referring to me?
Some high-ranking women wear ornamental crap with tits hammered into it. One good shot, and all that cleavage gets knocked right into the sternum. Real messy. Good on you for going practical.
I aim to please.
Leave something to the imagination, too.
I guess that counts as a compliment, but back to the time magic. That actually sounds really cool. Why did they get rid of that?
Someone found it in the game code, but it wasn't executed, likely due to limitations and lack of time to write a cohesive tie-in between the two quests. Unfortunate, because that would have made an already memorable dungeon even better.
Oh wow, in the game code you say? What an interesting idea you have put forward, Obama.
All right, that was definitely the blighted bitch talking. Where the hell are you? You're not even in this scene?
Bro keeps phasing in and out of our conversations. That's kind of weird. He usually doesn't do that.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. Let's just unlock the vault, grab our item, and finish this quest already to put a stop to this. We just have one more key over in the corner that this upside-down guy is holding.
Damn, that guy really just wants to hang around, huh, boys?
Sleepy, that was a terrible joke and you should feel bad. Anyways, what's the reward for completing this quest if the lore wasn't fully connected?
So the main appeal is the Tempest Staff, which is the artifact freezing time to begin with. We also get a Master Cleansing Rune schematic, good for killing demons, and the Tevinter banner option, as well as some Heartwood and a locked chamber to the right.
Ah, right, Heartwood. That rare material that we only found one time in Origins, then a handful of times in Inquisition, and then like 500 times in Veilguard.
Insulted, if you like, but I know the real reason you whine and complain is your fear of Veilguard, not your hatred.
All right, again, we are trying to get through some content here. Save the ominous monologue for another time. Here's the Spirit Rune schematic. This first fight isn't the worst out there. It's just a few demons. But going back to the Fade Rift at the start is where the bigger fight is going to happen.
Don't underestimate the Fade Rifts, Obama. They can be a bitch and a half if you don't take them seriously. Anyways, I've been meaning to ask about it, but is this your final team for the playthrough, Barry? I figured now that we have recruited everyone, we would start showing off the full presidential squads.
Yeah, pretty much Double Warriors are just too good to ignore in this game, and Iron Bull gives us some extra needed damage while Mommy Cassandra is our tank. Then finally, Solas and Vivienne are already covered by you and Donald, so it just made sense to show off our final mage squad mate.
Oh yeah, I am sure the only reason you brought Dorian is because he was the only option. You sure you don't have a deeper meaning behind your party selection, Sus Bama?
I am not sure what you mean, Donald. This is just my party selection. Oh wait, I think I get what you're putting out there, Donald. Yeah, I do have one ulterior motive in my team selection.
There you go, Nerd Bama. It's time to express yourself and be honest, maybe for the first time in your life.
Okay, well, I wouldn't go that far. It's not that serious. But my only other goal with this team is what I call Team Double Date. Me and Cassandra are obviously going steady soon, and with enough banter between Dorian and Iron Bull, they can start a romantic relationship as long as both of them remain unromanced. It's the second time in Dragon Age that two squad mates can romance each other, the first being Isabella and Fenris. But this relationship doesn't need a DLC and is far more serious.
Wait, hold up, Dorian. And Iron Bull can hook up? I take Iron Bull almost everywhere I go, and I have never seen that.
Isn't this like your favorite game in the series, Donald? How did you not know about one of the best ships in the entire series?
Joe, I am not hearing that from you. When just last episode, you admitted that you barely play this game past the hinterlands.
Well, to unlock the romance, we have reached the first step, which is locking down another romance in the form of Cassandra. After that, it still does take a while. We have to go from Dorian and Bull taking shots at each other for being on opposite sides, to them finding common ground and then finally flirting with each other. It's a real enemies to lovers story on our hands, boys.
Presidents try not to reference the enemies to lover trope in Inquisition. I swear that's a harder challenge than any trial Inquisition offers. That romance does sound Cassandra approved, probably straight up out of a Hard in Hightown novel.
Not a bad take. It's like Romeo and Juliet, if they were whole countries instead of noble houses. Back to the game, though. Is there any final lore on the still ruins you have for us, Barry?
Not really, other than there is a war table quest that opens up after this. Either Liliana or Josephine can send agents to study what the Venatori and Ancient Tevinter were hoping to gain in this ruin. However, the final result is that this lab is too evil to ethically study, so they abandon it after giving us a magical artifact.
They are acting like this shit is the Krogan labs from Mass Effect 2, instead of just a cult-time ruin that the Robe Empire built. Also, Obama, half your team is goddamn dead. What is the play here, even? I swear to God, every single one of you liberals gets demolished by a Fade Rift.
Oh, I wasn't expecting the Fade Spirit damage to be that intense, if I am being honest. These are the first enemies in a few episodes that are equal to our level 2, and I am fairly certain one of them is promoted from the trial too. As long as Mommy Cassandra stays up, we are, oh God, no, please Mommy Cassandra, survive. Hack, hack, hack.
Bro is genuinely tweaking out now that his waifu is the one getting put down by some random in-game cheese. How the turntables turn.
Well, your mage is dead, and all you have left is your elf twink Inquisitor, who is going to last 10 seconds at most.
The plan is to get everyone back like the Avengers, and the problem is Mommy Cassandra got turned into a damn hot popsicle.
I don't think reviving anyone by hand is going to save you here, Barry, especially since the Frost Spirit does massive damage every single hit.
God damn it, this is total shit. Mommy Aveline would never fall like this.
Well, Obama is just one death away from tying back with Sleepy Joe, and Donald's stocks are looking up.
You're still about 5 deaths ahead of me, Donald. I wouldn't get too confident yet. Anyway, now that I have calmed down and the spirits aren't promoted this time, I can explain what happened here. Not only did I forget to dispel one of the spirits during the second wave, but one of the spirits was promoted too, and I didn't respect their damage. Now that I did both this time around, though, this fight is easy money. Now I can level up, activate the Veil Measure device for the Solus Collection quest, and collect a few more errands before I tackle my next big hurdle, the Desert Fort.
Well, the first hurdle is this poison fart cloud that Dorian is panicking just for entering in the first place.
Calm down, little bro. We just need to plant the damn flag down. We aren't doing the mile-long march in Darkspawn farts. I guess we will have to spend 5 of our 100 power to build a bridge or 2.
Yeah, we are far past worrying about power management with how fully we are completing areas.
Soon my glorious image will be completed, and all the viewers will know my blight beauty.
Damn, calm down, Themey. It's not that serious, although I am glad they are putting some respect on your name in the form of art. Anyways, I guess it's time to once again storm the gates.
Storm the gates!
All right, again, I have like no clue what you liberals and you spirits are referencing with this one, and I still don't want to. Anyway, this fort is easily the most annoying of the 3 forts to clear, because the entire time you're fighting, you have this random rogue monologuing at you about how great the Venatori are and how shitty we all are.
It's basically the video game equivalent of motivational speech and vicious mockery D&D spells all in one. While it's annoying, I doubt this fight is going to take us that long to finish up. We are at least 2 levels above everybody in this fortress, so it's just a slow battle of attrition.
So wait, we can loot the defensive door we just broke to get some depressed splinters?
Oh, well, those are a collection item, but...
All right, Nerdbama, you have literally been explaining everything so far, and it's time I remind everyone why I am here. I know exactly what the sad splinters do, and I am willing to share with the rest of the class. So there are 3 forts in Crestwood, the approach and Emprise du Lions, and all 3 have a door we have to destroy. Collecting all 3 splinters from the door, and then finding the crafting schematic in the Exalted Plains allows us to create marks. Mangled mace. A mace with a banana on a stick, which is actually a semi-decent weapon for a joke weapon.
That could be a fun side goal for the series, but that's a long ways away. Both the Emprise du Lions and Exalted Plains will likely be their own episodes, but we will do everything we can to make that happen. Well, Donald went and explained something so continuing the trend, Joe. I know we mentioned it earlier, but do you want to explain the overpowered combination that can be made with the Necromancer specialization Dorian has and the amulet we get during this fight?
Oh, what's wrong, Obama, getting cold feet now for what you have to yap about?
First off, no, I am not. And secondly, don't you have a time orb to try and harness back at the temple or something?
Not anymore since you opened up the temple and cleared it out. I am free to go anywhere I want now.
Just ignore him, Obama, but back to what you were asking. There's no shot Sleepy knows anything about Inquisition mechanics.
Oh, really, Donald? Challenge accepted. Well, the amulet we can get from the loudmouth mage here is Kitty's collar, which, yes, is a collar that was worn from the Desire Demon in Honleith, who pretended to be a cat when we recruited Shale. I'm sure Obama can describe why the collar is there, but the collar is a unique item that lowers your damage resistance by 100%. But you have a guardian spirit that blocks a melee attack every 30 seconds, and you have a 75% chance to revive whenever you get down. On the surface, this is terrible, since it's just an amulet that is going to kill you quicker and then maybe revive you. But when paired with necromancers, there's an overpowered glitch you can do. When you die first, Simulacrum revives you for 10 seconds. Then after the 10 seconds of being a necromancer, Ghost Kitty's collar will revive you. Of course, there is a delay, so it's not spammable. You also can't do that forever, since the delay will still game over if your allies can't finish the fight. But the delay is so small that it makes you almost immortal.
Yeah, which would make a lot of these fights brain dead easy, but thankfully we don't have Simulacrum yet, and I suggest we don't use this glitch until later in the game when we are full build, because that combo can be almost as broken as God Mode Garrus.
Well, it will only be broken for you since Dorian is your mage anyway, so use whatever crutch you want.
Actually, Donald, any mage can take really good advantage of the collar because of barrier spams already making you immune to damage. Vivienne gets an extra bit of cheese, since in addition to barrier, the Knight Enchanter has immortality frames, which doubles her chances of taking no damage, in addition to the free revive. Not as broken as Dorian, but close.
So basically the egg has the weakest specialization?
Not the weakest, but just the least exploitable compared to the other 2. Anyway, while we are ripping the Venatori a new one and putting an end to the guy on the loudspeakers, I am going to take a moment to cement a deal that I made before this series even began. This is the last thing I have to get through for Mommy Cassandra, and I have wanted to do it right, so here it goes. Let me all tell you about Iolasa, which according to my stand means knowledge in Elven. Here's some fan art that Tagar made to give you his idea. Iolasa was a former love of Solus or Venin in Elvish, which flows perfectly since they are both lore and knowledge seekers. She cared more for lore in the sea than territory wars or the mortal world and tried to convince Solus to leave behind the mortal world and build a new life together. However, Mythil always needed Solus to rule her own kingdoms and wouldn't allow this. She destroyed Iolasa kingdom on the sea and blamed the other Evanoris, primarily Falun Din, who was always greedy and war-hungry for new territories, probably why Solus has extra disdain for him as well. Mythil blamed him so that he would remain by her side in the end.
Damn, this chick sounds like a total simp.
I kinda like it though, so like, did Mythal kill her when she sacked the kingdom?
No, she survived the attack, but felt the sting of betrayal from Mythil, and even from Solus for turning back to Mythil when the kingdom was sacked. Eolisar survived, and in her hatred of Mythil, joined the Forgotten Ones, becoming a goddess of the sea and mother of monsters. Here's her Forgotten One design, also made by Tigar. She eventually became the one blamed for all of the creations Gillinan released into the world. Her time as a Forgotten One changed her, and she became a wanderer. Her break from Solus and the Evanuris spared her from their fate, and she wandered as mother to the sea, exploring the coasts of Thetis, seeing the birth of Orlias Ferelden and Anteva from the ocean, quietly observing and interfering subtly with magic, until the time of Solus's return, of course.
All right, we don't need to hear about the egg's love life yet. We get the gist. She was betrayed by Solus, and now she betrayed him to earn you the romance spot. I can respect the hustle. We captured the fort now, which is 2 out of 3 of the forts we can establish, and we can check the fort off our desert to-do list. You know, once we solve this dude having cartoon stink lines on his back?
True, and now this dude has a few more checklists to give us. Looks like we have to get some water for these guys, and we have to find out where all the Darkspawn are coming from.
You're early. We've barely been set up a week. I have a patrol out at the moment. Some of the men cited Darkspawn in the area.
Well, with the lore dealt out, the deal has been fulfilled. There's a few more stories I can get into as we progress through the maps, but we can dive into that at a later date. The Darkspawn have to be handled with war table missions. So for now, let's fix the water issues and check on the opposite end of the map.
Curious story, Obama. But let me ask you one thing. What sources did you use to tell us about this Forgotten One?
Well, they are Forgotten Ones for a reason. But with enough devotion to the lore, anything is possible. And why the hell do you care anyway?
Because this is the first time you have completely fabricated lore. Sure, you occasionally make assumptions or guesses based on the evidence, but this is different and it scared you. It's why you were so hesitant and asked the others for yaps. You weren't confident, and now all has been revealed.
All right, hang on. I've had Corypheus inside me plenty of times, and he doesn't talk like that, even when he had the old-time speak. Who the hell are you, and why are you so obsessed with lore and fear?
Heavy pause.
Haha, I'm actually amazed you of all people picked up on it first. Very well, it matters not now. It's true, I am not the Magister Lord.
I am the killer in the dark, the jump scare to progress, a killer who uses uncertainty like a blade. I am fear.
Oh shit, the old friends he mentioned.
Now you pieced it together, but too little too late, Obama. My master already taught me how to deal with you, and the second you made that lore slip with uncertainty, it was already over. Your every breath is now attached to my realm, and I don't ever release.
Wait, what's happening?
Barry, buddy, where did you go?
Wait, hold on. How the hell did you warp Obama away when he was physically in the Oval Office and you're in the screen?
Oh, you'll find out soon enough when you join him. Unless you think without your lore master here, you can't figure it out.
Are you asking us another goddamn question? Are you a Jeopardy demon or a demon of fear?
Hold on, Donald. He is definitely rage-baiting you, but I think there's a reason he is asking us questions.
I can't believe I'm saying this, Sleepy, but you're right. He said that the lore slip made Obama attached to his realm, but he is confident that he can grab all of us too. So it's not the lore, and if it was the fear, Sleepy would have been the first one to get got because you could just throw a spider on screen. That must mean you're using our uncertainty to take us out, am I right?
Oh wow, very impressive. Although of course I could just be mixing my words to make you feel secure enough to strike.
All right, Sleepy, I see his game. Now take over Obama's seat. In the meantime, I will handle this. Unlike the liberals, here I am, Donald Confidence Trump. The last time I was uncertain was when I asked how many kids I put in your mom when I plowed her last night.
Ha ha ha. Are you certain demons have mothers?
All right, sure. Keep trying to trip me up. It will make you biting the curb that much sweeter. See, I have my own fade tricks up my sleeve. Pokeball, go.
What's up, Chucklefuck? Do you prefer your body to be fried or broiled when I'm done with you?
Oh, how cute your alternative life partner is going to fight me.
All right, that's it. Jarvis, wipe this bastard from the fade, then delete his Steam library while you're at it. Also, viewers, take another shot for the Rift Quest, and to celebrate the stain, that will be his corpse.
Mana Clash bitch!
I'm sorry. Was that supposed to, like, kill me? It barely tickled.
Wait, what the hell?
Justice, what are you doing? You're supposed to handle the tedious shit that's part of our deal. Go ahead and do it again.
Well, I would love to see the demon actually die in a horrible explosion, but there's this thing called cooldowns.
Well, how long does charging take? Because this thing isn't just going to keep sitting here and letting us get free shots in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you not certain if or when your life partner can kill me?
Well, oh shit, I walked into that.
Double D, where are you?
And then there was one, hello, Joseph.
Nah. If I can ignore the 16 voices in my head, then I can ignore you too. I am certain of that. Anyways, viewers, here's the next archdemon. Mural's in this cave, and now we can start looking for more shard pieces too. The more we collect, the more shards we can take, which should help us here.
Oh, come now, Joseph. Don't you want to talk about something? Like how long do you think Barry and Donald can survive in the Fade? Or better yet, when will you be returning to the Dead Space series?
Of course, the aspect of horror wants to talk about Dead Space. Look, man, we will get to it when we get to it. I had to undergo marker treatment to be physically ready to play it, and it's still ongoing. As for everything else, I am just going to ignore you if I can ignore the marker, and over 20 voices since taking this Warden calling, then I can ignore you too easy enough.
Do you really think that strategy will get you anywhere, Joseph?
I really wouldn't bother asking that certain, or not. You can't stop him from doing it. Believe me, I tried.
Oh, hey, Themi, you're still here.
I am in your head. The only time I can leave is through the computer, and I am not bothering with that right now.
Well, you can ignore and disassociate as much as you want, but eventually you will slip up. You might be old, but how long do you think you can outlast me, Joseph?
Long enough for a final act to reveal my uncertain monologuing friend.
Oh, great, and here is voice number 9. Look, man, I am kind of short-staffed today, and America might currently be without a president or something, so I don't have time to get the net right now. Can you come back later?
I'm afraid I cannot do that, Joe. See, I knew it was only a matter of time before Corypheus started tapping into the Fade for help and gathering his own spirit allies. When that happened, I knew what he would bring out would be more dangerous than his own insane ramblings.
Well, good for you. You have common sense. Quick thing, though, what the hell are you? You're both an entity in this game and not. You know future outcomes, but can't fully see the past either. So what you just cosplay is something more, until you can actually achieve it.
I can't tell if you're genuinely curious, or if you are trying to bait me into uncertainty, but either way, you haven't earned the right to know, and you can't bait a master manipulator, so don't bother trying.
I feel like I shouldn't be here for this conversation between you two lovebirds, but you are making it harder to ignore you two with the bickering. If you want to kill each other, go right ahead though. Don't let me stop you.
Oh, don't worry. I haven't forgotten about you either. You will get your chance to explore a new world very soon.
That's not why I am here, Joe. I can't make the main quest go away, but I am here to help. I can get the presidents back from the Fade, but I need your help. I won't force you, but perhaps we can come to an understanding.
Last time I heard that line, Kamala kicked me out of the presidential race, but I guess if I have to keep acting certain, I am certain I don't have an asshole plan of my own.
You're helping the series more than you know, Joe. I can get them back, however, I need just one favor in return. The next time I come to Obama, I need you to tell him you agree we should fuse.
Wait, what the hell? Why would I do that? And why would he listen to me?
Because he respects you more than anyone else. And as you can see, the beings of the Fade will keep assaulting your world.
I still don't know about this. You two could both be working together to try and take control.
Joe, I know this might seem out of character, but I think you should trust the egg. Not because he doesn't have shitty intentions, but because it will be easier to understand what he is plotting if we keep him close. I trust him, at least here.
I feel like I am selling my soul here, but whatever, Solus, I will talk to Barry about it next time you bring it up. But you better get everyone back as they were.
Oh, don't worry, I intend to. So Spirit, who works off fear and uncertainty like it's gas, you're already eavesdropped on one of my most private stories in lore. So how about we expand on that, shall we?
Wait, you're telling me Obama wasn't just full of lust when he told it? Some of it is true?
Yes, indeed, you see, Eolasa has sought out some of my closest companions and changed their opinion on me. Where once she was bitter, now she is trusting. She respects my allies like Phalasum. She respects my new cause for this world, although not the actions I take. And most of all, she respects the Inquisition. Eolasa may not be written in the game code, but just as I have changed because of this series, so has she. She is real now, and she has rubbed dirt in my eyes as the one who got away. Just as you are real and part of the game, so is she. Or do you doubt what a character in this very game believes?
Why the hell would you tell me about a time you got fooled and betrayed? A prideful prick like you would never admit this. Besides, even if you can confirm the lore Obama told, it doesn't matter. The uncertainty that tethered him to my realm is as strong as ever.
Oh, I know that, but it did distract you long enough for me to slip past your barrier and bring back 2 old friends.
Wait, what?
Well, that was unpleasant.
Where the hell did I go? Why the hell am I here? And most importantly, why is the egg on my screen?
Holy shit, the boys are back.
You're welcome, Mr. President. Now, Joseph, next time I come back, don't forget our deal.
Wait, the egg saved me? I refuse to accept that. Also, even if I wasn't here, take another shot, viewers, for completing the Fade quest.
Donald, we just hopped like 3 dimensions, but somehow you are on top of the drinking contest still.
Skill issue Obama. I always pay attention. Now back to the egg. If you want anything out of my presidency, just know I would sooner help the Robe Empire.
Believe me, I want nothing from you, Donald, since I've been free from the briefcase. But you may want extra protection from fear next episode. Just bring the game part of me along, and you will be safe, and I will call it even. Farewell for now.
You're not my supervisor.
All right, Joe, you're going to have to explain what this deal you made is later, but for now we can swap back commander seats and I can take back our viewers to the regularly scheduled programming.
Are we going to have to deal with more demons coming back to life and touching us without our consent?
I don't really know. Corypheus did say friends plural, so it's entirely possible. Let's just take them one step at a time for now, though. Anyway, we have been quiet about it, but we collected the dragon researcher's notes at the entrance as well as the Teventer diagram from the Silent Ruins. We can also easily clear out the quillbacks needed for the bait, which means we essentially have everything we need to lure the high dragon fight if we double back to Skyhold now.
I am Frederic of Serrault, foremost researcher of draconology in Orlais.
Is that what you're going to do, Barry? I am all for the content train, but you did just come back from a different dimension if you need a moment to rest after. I wouldn't really blame you.
I'm fine, Joe, or at least I am as fine as I am going to be given the circumstances. But even if the Fade didn't really affect me, I am going to save the High Dragon fight as the last thing I tackle this episode. Not only do we have to go back to Skyhold anyway to complete the next 2 arcs, but I would be lying if seeing your deaths last episode didn't make me slightly more cautious.
That was a lot of yaps to basically say you're scared of the dragon because of a skill issue, Obama?
I'd be careful, Donald. I know Barry and he almost never goes on demon time like that.
Dragons. I'd be interested in hearing more about that.
Oh, they are fascinating and little understood creatures, thought extinct for centuries. Now they seem to be making a comeback. The Nevarrans wrote extensively on breeding and nesting behavior, but high dragon hunting patterns have never been studied.
Also, anyone find it weird with how often this guy talks about the university, that we can never see it firsthand?
Why do we need to see the nerd shit like going to a classroom when we can get first-hand experience and research out in the field every episode?
Well, nerdy or not, the University of Orlais is an imperative part of Orlaisan culture that we almost never get into. Besides, right here and slightly during Wicked Eyes and Hearts, the university is not only one of a kind in the country of Thetis, but how it's run and its strength is directly tied to who rules Orlais. Despite this, however, the Dragon Researcher and the Starkhaven research in Jaws are not affected by the Empress choice.
All right, Obama, between the dragon nerd and the lore nerd, I am feeling overwhelmed. I can't even remember what a monograph is.
A monograph is a long-form work on a singular subject produced by one researcher. It doesn't necessarily have to be scholarly, but it does have to be specific and not a broad topic.
Oh, damn, if that's the case, I guess I have done a monograph before in my life. Cross that one off the checklist. I suppose, boys.
Oh, really? You have, Joe? That's really impressive and good for your mental health. What was the subject matter?
Mommy Merrill's beautiful eyes and hips, of course.
I really don't know why you would expect something different, Obama. Although, if you really think about it, these videos are kind of like one man's monograph, just disguised as 3 bros playing a video game. So maybe we are all credited in a monograph somewhere.
I think we violated some international fourth wall rules with that one. So we should be careful, but I would be lying if I haven't done monographs on specific Dragon Age topics myself during this series. Speaking of monographs, though, we already grabbed the Teventer dragon research. So all that's left is to translate it at Skyhold and slay the dragon.
Will it help you?
What remarkable diagrams. Are these chambers of the draconic heart? Oh, if only I could read the script. Do you perhaps know a linguist? Or a Teventer historian?
Don't look at me. Nobody's spoken that form of Tevene in 700 years.
I am pretty sure that Dorian and Iron Bull just have the least overall special interactions during dialogue compared to everyone else. I don't know if it's because we get them late and they shove most of the companion interrupts in the Hinterlands and Crestwood, or if it's because those two just have the least to say.
Iron Bull and Dorian are certainly extremely chatty, so I have to imagine it's the former. Anyways, I almost forgot there is one other errand I have to take care of for the High Dragon, and it's clearing out the battleground of bandits that have moved in. These guys are not at all different from the Crestwood bandits. In fact, they may even be weaker. So I will take care of the White Claws off screen.
The White Claw bandits sound like a threatening band of white girls at a frat party, not a scary bandit group. What the hell are they even doing out here anyway?
Didn't the Robe Empire hire them to just cause mischief and keep people out of their operations?
Right on the money, Donald. The Venatori did hire them and are funding their operations here. We find out through scattered notes that their main job was to assist with mining red lyrium and observing what the dragon researcher learns about the dragon without harming him or his colleagues. However, the White Claws don't prove to be a smart investment. They kill Frederick's team even after being warned not to, and in order to lure the High Dragon, they randomly spring traps all over the desert, hoping the dragon will be caught in one, proving they have no clue how to hunt a dragon since, as we learn, they need the right bait.
Sounds like a massive skill issue on everyone's part, the Robe Empire for hiring these guys and not just doing the work themselves, and then the bandits for being smooth brains and fucking everything up.
I mean, that's just standard TIV interoperations, though. Fucking everything up for everyone else, so I guess we can't be too surprised. Anyways, Barry, why did we even go over here without building the bridges first, and why are we over here anyway?
Joe, do you not see the giant alpha quillback that we are fighting right now? We obviously need to kill him for our specialization.
Yeah, the reason we are here is obvious. I wanted to show the viewers where the final alpha quillback is, since we killed the first one like 30 minutes ago, and the second one wasn't on an alpha quillback, just a random one we killed near the researcher. The third is over by the entrance to Korakavis, which is our next objective. But like Joe said, we need to go back to Skyhold to build an entrance first. However, since I only wanted to go back once, I figured I would unlock our specialization finally. When we are here to answer Joe's other question, you can actually cross the poison desert safely without clearing it. The poison doesn't deal damage to you, it just makes you walk slowly and cough a lot, which can be tanked through.
Just don't make anyone take a COVID test once we get back to Skyhold. That shit is a throat destroyer. It feels like we are closing up a lot of arcs this episode, though. We already have our specialization and our romance locked in this episode before completing even half of the main quest.
I mean, isn't that what we always do? In our last series alone, we had already banged Mommy, Isabella, and Meryl, and we're close to our second specialization. If anything, the Inquisitor is just underperforming.
I really need to understand what underperforming means to you, Donald, because by episode 7, not only do we have several personal goals finished like specialization and romance, but we have also finished 2 out of 3 of the biggest areas in the game and have a massive army with several advisors and agents at the ready.
Look, Barry, you have your power scaling and completionist priorities, and we have our waifu priorities, and how much every squad mate likes us as our priorities.
I only care how much Iron Bull and the Royal Robe like us, being honest. So it's not that deep. Anyways, I guess it's time to lock in our specialization and be completely goddamn busted.
We are getting the specialization, and since I have been saving my level ups, we can get the first ability and the ultimate ability now, and show them off in the Darkspawn dungeon. Eventually we should consider a rebuild so that we can have our Inquisitor be stronger and more optimal. But we don't really need to rush into that just yet, it will just make the game too easy. I'd say just like the shards, we should rebuild our character right before the DLCs where things get more difficult.
I guess for right now, we will just dip our toes into the specialization and hopefully get the ultimate later. The companions have special dialogue for our specialization choices too?
They do, but most of the dialogue is for the mage specializations. 3 or 4 companions have dialogue for every mage specialization. While warriors and rogues have 1 or 2 people reference their specializations, in our case only Varric has new dialogue since he is also an artificer and knows 3 eyes. If we were an assassin, we could have talked to Leliana and had her reference Zevran saying the way we move reminds her of him.
I don't know if being compared to Zevran is really much of a compliment. That could just mean we seem like a good liar and can't pick locks for shit. Also, why am I not surprised that even with the specialization dialogue options, BioWare had a clear mage bias going on in how much extra dialogue the robes get?
Can't even argue with you this time, Donald. There is a massive disparity here when there definitely could have been unique interactions for everyone. What probably happened is they thought of the mage specializations first and then threw in the others after the fact. I am just happy the game even included unique dialogue for every specialization. It's a step in the right direction for the roleplay opportunities. Now let's see what Varric has to say about our choice.
I take it you know each other?
Acquainted. I wouldn't call us drinking buddies or anything. Guy's got weird priorities. Frankly, I think he's jealous of Bianca. Poor sod.
Personally, I'm happy with traps.
Hey, if they keep
Well, don't worry, Varric. We aren't going to make a Bianca clone, even if we could. We don't plagiarize the homies.
Where the hell are we going now? I thought we were going into the dungeon.
We are, but because I was kidnapped against my will, I wasn't able to grab some hidden items behind the fort we captured. Not only is there a landmark here and some rare material, but we can get the next mural piece for the Archdemon portrait.
Glad to see we are still hunting for true artistic perfection.
I'm happy for you, bro, but I can't lie. I am a little salty that there is no spirit or justice mural.
Well, once we grab all the resources here and all the other collectibles, we can unlock a shortcut back to the entrance of the fort and move on to our next dungeon.
Wait, hold on. So not only are we stomping around in this well, which is the fort's drinking supply, but there is straight up skeletons and corpses in the drinking water too. That seems extremely unhealthy.
Well, yeah, it is, which is why one of the other main quests is clearing the oasis in the center of the approach and bringing in troops to secure an actual safe route for our fort's water supply. Anyway, one last errand before the dungeon, since right out front we can solve our second Asterium in the approach.
Is there a theme to these ones, like the ones in Crestwoodbury, or is it just more pretty pictures?
No, there's no connection for these ones. The fort we captured had one of the archdemons. This one is Fenrir, which is of course a reference to Fenharl, and the last one, Saturnalia, is an ancient Tevinter term of after holiday, used commonly throughout Thetis.
Wait, this one is a reference to the egg? I already hate these Asteriums more than the others. You're telling me out of all of the Asteriums that the Promisers destroyed this one was kept alive?
I am actually amazed you still remember that lore fact from earlier this episode, Donald. You are learning a thing or two.
Oh God, is that what is going on? Thanks, I already hate it now. Obama, and now I have to do better at ignoring you in the future?
Okay, kind of rude. I was just trying to give you a compliment there, Donald.
It's not fun when you find out you are learning things, Barry. It's best to just let it come subtly now that we know we learned it. Feels like we have been tricked, bamboozled, and possibly hoodwinked. Anyway, after a million side detours, we can finally enter the Darkspawn dungeon. And I just realized, since we're fighting Darkspawn, is that why you gave the Inquisitor Grey Warden armor, Barry?
Sleepy, I know you're buffering a little, but you're telling me you just figured out that's why he is wearing that?
Well, the Grey Warden armor was a thematic choice because of the story, but the other reason I changed armor for this episode was to give our Inquisitor some much-needed fire resistance for the high dragon fight this episode.
Oh damn, okay, you are going hardcore with the planning today. Obama, I see you king. Quick question though, are these prisons that the Darkspawn are using, or were the Venatori using this place, and the Darkspawn came later?
If the Darkspawn were capturing people, they are likely doing something not safe for work. Or worse, they were listening to that architect nerd again.
Well, the Darkspawn weren't using them, so YouTube and many others can rest easier tonight. And these prisons weren't really used by the Venatori either, except to hold test subjects for their blight experiments. While I am finding the rune schematic in this room, I can get into it. This prison was built by ancient Tevinter before the second blight, when Tevinter was still an expansive empire. This prison was primarily built to house political prisoners who couldn't be sentenced to execution. However, all types of criminals were held here. It was apparently a fearful enough place that individuals here in Corocavis passed as a judgment begged for death, which was considered a mercy compared to being sentenced here.
What happened to this place, Barry? If this was such an intimidating prison.
Well, the western approach is a desert filled with darkspawn, giant chasms, and noxious gas. It wasn't always like this, though, but when the second blight happened, the entire land became blighted and withered, which turned into an inhospitable land. Not to mention, after the second blight, the Wardens maintained a strong vigil in the area for about a century, so it likely became a logistical nightmare trying to sustain a prison here, and it was abandoned.
Yeah, the only things that can sustain themselves in the desert is casinos. Everyone knows that.
Or sets for the Fallout show or Indiana Jones movies. Also, even if the Darkspawn aren't using this prison, didn't they capture people during the novel Asunder, Barry?
They did capture specifically women for exactly what you all think they captured them for, but that was Adamant Fortress, not here. Ironic, since it was originally built as a Grey Warden fort before being abandoned. Anyway, behind this locked door here is a superb ring of critical damage, a perfect late-game item for our Inquisitor, as well as a mosaic piece and a master demon-slaying rune. A really good haul overall for a simple detour.
Wait, hold on. I'm like 90% sure that door isn't a normal locked door, but one that needs the war perk to pick. How long have we had that perk?
Oh, right before I picked up the specialization from 3 Eyes, we ranked up and got to pick another perk. I chose Deft Tool and Deft Eyes, so that now we can unlock any locked door in the game. We should definitely grab the Nobility Knowledge perk next. Then, of course, at least one more focus upgrade, so we can have our ults hit a little harder.
You know, speaking of the perk system, I have some beef about needing to unlock one perk to be able to pick all locks. Not only is it a late-game perk, since you need a few points into Liliana before unlocking it, but it's pretty lame that one perk just unlocks every door to use. In Origins, it went off a combination of cunning and a skill tree. And in Dragon Age 2, it went entirely off cunning, but still the lockpicking system in both games felt like a natural progression over time, where Inquisition is just all at once, and it's kind of jarring.
Take as always, Joe. In Dragon Age 2, they leveled the chests out based on what act you were in, but in Origins, to prevent us from missing out on several items and loot caches, we had to put a lot of points into Liliana and give her the special cunning necklace, which meant we had to bum rush lockpicking anyway, and instead of 1 skill point used, it was like 3.
I think that goes to show Origins and Inquisition have really flawed lockpicking systems in terms of progression, likely because of the sheer size of the games, and Dragon Age 2 was the best lockpicking system just because it was incredibly streamlined.
Damn, I guess Dragon Age 2 does have something ahead of Origins and Inquisition in the gameplay department, huh, Obama?
Non-combat-wise, in terms of companion interrupts and other role-playing mechanics, I do agree with you in terms of anything having to do with combat or exploration, and I would prefer any other Dragon Age game.
You're just mad you fumbled the death competition in Dragon Age 2, Barry, and almost tied with Donald in the process.
Joe, you have more than doubled your deaths in 2 episodes of Inquisition. Maybe don't join Donald in the glass house.
Damn, that big guy looks pretty chopped and maybe a little hungry. Did Donald enter the game after getting dragged by the fear demon?
Sleepy, it's been only 30 minutes, and you're already making fat jokes about me and Obama nearly dying from the game coming alive due to demon exploits. The only thing me and that big-ass thing have in common is we both have the strength to yeet your ass to the moon, so don't test me.
Well, after fighting a mostly dead giant, I am ready to take on a real one. And since this is basically a boss fight on even levels with us, I am going to use my 2 ults in both the Mark of the Rift and Haste.
Goddamn, that's a clusterfuck of fade distortions this dude brought Fist to a nuclear warhead fight.
It's too bad we didn't have one more skill point that we could spend on the Artificer Ultimate. The viewers yearn for some new combos.
Well, win or lose. We can take another shot in a minute, too. You love to see it, Obama. Also, I know you want to focus on the giant booty on the big guy, but when he falls down like that, the only thing that hurts him is shooting him in the face.
I have to admit, I am so used to killing these things faster that I didn't know that. We still took care of it, though, and just in time because our inventory is filled up from this dungeon. Also, viewers, take another shot for completing the Camps quest in the Western Approach.
Well, we are in the home stretch now since this is the last unexplored area left on the map. We probably still have some episode left, though, since we have to find all the murals and watch Barry die to the High Dragon fight at least once.
We also have to actually tackle the main quest, steal this episode, and meet up with Hawk and the Ostagar Coward.
Oh shit, that's right. I forgot we haven't done that yet. I was too caught up in the dragon fight and Cassandra romance. I would have blown right past it.
Looks like Sleepy's dementia is contagious, Obama. I would ask if he has any extra medication for you.
I'd cut him some slack, Donald. It's not every day you lose your virginity in the game to both Cassandra and a High Dragon. Barry here is a little overstimulated.
He isn't losing his virginity here, Joe. Remember, he still railed that elf twink in Dragon Age 2 at the expense of all of our eyes.
Not how I would have defended myself, Donald, but thanks for trying, I guess. As for you, Joe, I really hope you keep this energy when the fight is over and won. I know you got trauma over the last High Dragon fight, but keep joking about it. Seriously.
All right, I'll let your gameplay speak for itself. Obama, anyways. Looking at the map here, closing both this Fade Rift and the Fade Rift, just up ahead is going to add 2 more shots to the drinking competition.
God's blessing on this wonderful alcoholism in the chat, boys, and good work finishing a Fade Rift quickly so we can drink Obama.
Well, next up, we have a few shards and a quick quest to take out some runaway mages for Mommy Cassandra. While we are doing that, though, I have a comment question for you two and the viewers, somewhat related to what we were talking about with lockpicking. How do you guys prefer that feats be implemented in this game as side bonuses to your character, somewhat separate from combat abilities? Do you prefer your own points like in Origins every couple of levels? Do you prefer it in Inquisition where it's a separate bar from experience altogether? Or do you prefer Dragon Age 2 where there's no feats, but instead how you roleplay and who you bring along can have different effects on games? As for me, I would prefer a mix of Dragon Age 2 and Origins where your background and roleplaying can have certain starting impacts, but then you get points when you level up to put into feats like lockpicking, alchemy, and crafting even.
I do miss Origin's freedom of leveling, but that's about it. I actually prefer Inquisition's perk system, where it's a separate experience bar when doing quests. That way I am using a different resource. Really, if they made things like lockpicking perks more progressive over time rather than just one and done like they did crafting or ultimates, I would be fine with this system as is. I just think it was too inconsistent in Origins, and in 2 it was so non-existent. Unless you had a guide that you would only see it a handful of times in your playthrough. Seeing a new dialogue option pop up because of an Inquisition perk I chose feels rewarding, and it's good to know I didn't sacrifice combat efficiency when doing it.
All right, boys. I will be honest, I don't really care about the perk and feat system in Inquisition. I mean, sure, it has some small effects on gameplay, but it's so minor I barely recognize it. I just know we need all of the conversation perks for the French People Party, and that's about it. Crafting and gaining ultimates or lockpicking feels too sluggish progression-wise, and then even when you get it, you don't notice it as much as you would like. Honestly, if we had to have a feat system in Dragon Age, I would prefer it work like perks in Fallout games, where doing certain tasks or specific quests gives you permanent buffs or new abilities. That way you get rewarded just for playing the game, and certain abilities you have are more memorable because of what you have done.
All right, good picks all around, boys, and viewers, let us know about how you would prefer perks and skills to be handled in Dragon Age. Do you have a favorite option out of the 3 games, or would you prefer an overhaul with a new system similar to a different game series? Our editor reads everyone and will feature his favorite next episode. But with that all being said, Joe, mind featuring our favorite comment from last episode?
Sure thing, Barry. Our featured comment comes from JFK Shot First, who said they would have preferred to see Sigrun as the Warden contact. Sigrun's whole journey of self-worth and moving past the self-sacrificing mentality she had, and how dramatic it would be if we had to choose between Sigrun and Hawk after spending all of Awakening teaching her that there is more to life than an epic sacrificial moment. I can't lie, Sigrun might be the hardest choice among the Warden contacts if that was the case. Thank you for your comment, and can't wait to hear what perk system you would prefer in Inquisition.
All right, back to the game because I blinked and now it looks like Sleepy is playing instead of you, Obama.
Yeah, Barry, this is Jover. The rest of the squad is dead as a door cob.
Joe, it's Doorknob, not Cobb, and it isn't Jover just yet. Mommy Cassandra can take a few hits, get Bull and Dorian up so that Dorian can cast Barrier on all of them, and then Dorian can revive the Inquisitor to finish the fight. The main boss of this mage encounter ended up being promoted as well as this other mage, so they get double teleport and massive barriers.
I feel like you should have revived Dorian first because now Cassandra is dropped, and as soon as the barrier goes down, Bull is screwed too.
Sure, let's just keep doubting me. I really didn't want to pull this out for this random side quest, but I do have enough to pull out my ultimate again and kill the boss easily. We are still in this.
That's a lot of damage, but I don't know if the ultimate is enough to kill him. Looks like he still has some kick in him.
Oh, god damn it. Fuck, fuck, fuck. I knew I should have used the stupid Artificer ult instead. I'm a goddamn idiot.
Well, that's another death on the books. I hate to rub it in harder, Barry, but that makes 9 deaths, which makes us tied again. And if you die one more time, like say to the High Dragon, I am back in the lead.
I just want to point out now that we have all done 2 episodes, that I have only died once so far, while you have died 3 times, and Joe has died 5 times. Inquisition is really about to even us out, boys. I already told you I'm not afraid of the fake ice god. If I can't kill one in God of War, I will certainly do it in this game. Anyway, we opened up the shortcut back to the start of the map, which is a nice little loop of the area. It sort of reminds me of Firelink Shrine and Dark Souls, the way this area is one massive loop. Also, now we can finish one more Fade Rift area, so the viewers can take a 3rd shot in the last 10 minutes.
I would say we need to watch this fight carefully to see if Barry trips up. But realistically, this Fade Rift is leveled as the same area as Crestwood is, since it's right at the start. So I don't see any way that this goes badly.
Yeah, I am mainly just showing the fight so that the viewers can keep track of the drinking game. I probably don't need to dispel the second wave enemies, but just in the interest of time, I will. Up ahead, we also have the last shard finder that we missed earlier, which means we can finish the shard quest as well.
How many more shards do we have left to find Nerd Bama?
Quite a few. We still have shards in the Graves, Plains, Lions, and the Oasis. I imagine we won't get all of the shards collected until the DLC missions, as always. But again, that's for the best, because with both the shard upgrades and Cassandra in the party, the natural elemental resistance buff we get is 30%, and that's before any jewelry or armor buffs. If we want the death competition to remain competitive, it's best we save all of it for the end.
Given how some of these empowered fights have been going, I would have preferred to get any advantage we get, but if you want to make this game more Dark Souls-like, then I guess that's what we all have to do.
I know your ass wouldn't be brave enough to touch a Souls game, but I, for one, am chilling dudes. I don't need any more help in my natural domain. Also, take another shot, viewers, for completing the 4th and final Rift quest in the area. Now we can go grab the shards and move on.
The shards in the western approach are slightly harder to find than most other areas, since not only is this area massive, but the shards are only places 2 or 3 at a time as opposed to 5 or 6. The only upside is it's easier to find them, since the western approach is wide open compared to other areas.
Yeah, I would rather look for them here than the Graves or Hinterlands, where you have to peer through trees to find them. You know where the last shard is, by the way, Barry?
Of course I do. It's just off to the side a little. And,
Bro is beyond lost. I can't even blame you on this one, Obama. I would just hate to see Joe try to solve this one.
Wait, hang on. Oh shit, there it is. Now let's go grab these shards and move on to the final fort. I guess there is one benefit to dying during the last fight. Since I forgot to use my ultimate last time, this time I have no excuse. Just a quick tip for both of you when you use it. The shadow clones don't just copy auto attacks, but abilities too. I will leave you all to figure out how powerful that is.
I already knew that, but I'm sure that Sleepy found it useful given his memory problems. I still wish we went assassin, but I can't lie. The massive damage this skill can have is going to be hilarious on later fights.
All right, so you just did auto attacks because I guess you want me and Donald to figure out the more overpowered combos on our own, then Barry?
No, I just did that because I didn't think we had to go ham on this fight when it's just a mini-boss. I just wanted to take out the tank so the rest of the fight would be far easier. We already have one massive tank in the form of the Venatori boss Service. We do not need a second, otherwise we might actually lose here.
You mean you would lose here? I would just mod in Holy Smite and one-shot this bitch in 2 seconds. Speaking of, I found a few mods that improve Templar abilities. Do you think I can add them in?
Well, knowing you, Donald, adding in the mods would give Templars a rocket launcher or a drone strike instead of a blade buff. So I am going to retroactively say no to that and leave the modding to Barry.
I will tell you what, Donald, show me what mods you want to add, and if both me and Bill approve of them, power scaling wise, then you're good to go.
Oh man, why the hell did you have to bring Bill into this conversation? Why can't it just be a discussion between me and you?
Because sometimes I need a fresh pair of eyes when it comes to game balance, and I say this implying whatever the hell you want it to imply, but I think you will listen to Bill better than me.
All right, enough of the topical crap. That is definitely fake news. I would rather just focus on more viewer engagement at this point with some super thanks shout-outs. Want to get started on those, Obama?
Sure I can, since this fight isn't going to end anytime soon, by my guess. Well, first of all, welcome back to Mr. Jitbox, one of our first and biggest donators in the series. He donated 200 Australian monies to the Dead Space movie and daily $25 donations to the Inquisition series. Looks like he is on episode 3 at the moment, so when he catches up, I hope you appreciate this glaze. This series wouldn't be here without viewers like you. We also have $10 from our largest supporter, Robert Wadsworth. Hope you enjoy the lore we cooked up this episode, if you know what I mean. You also donated a few times during our editor streams, but we weren't able to screenshot those, but we appreciate them all the same. Finally, we have 15 European monies from Maxi1172, who gave some much-deserved Nathaniel glaze in his answer to the comment question, which is greatly appreciated. Thank you all for your incredible support of the series. We wouldn't be where we are without it.
Well, back to the game. How the hell is this dude still alive, and what do we have to do to put this asshole down for good?
Worse than putting us down, he glitched our Inquisitor's body and made him stand around even when he is supposed to be dead. That's some bullshit necromancy powers if I have ever seen them.
Well, it's nothing a quick revive can't handle, boys, and then we can get back to slowly chipping away at him. Like I said, this guy is insanely tanky, both because of his barrier and his constitution. It doesn't help that he has a few elemental resistances, namely shock and fire, which are two major damage sources from the Inquisitor and Dorian at the moment. All of this is why we get the option after this fight to either spare him to judge him at Skyhold or just kill him here and now. Similar to Zevron, but albeit not nearly as interesting as getting a whole new companion.
Normally I would shit on you for sparing a dirty robe, but getting throne judgments is always incredibly based and worth it.
You know, I am positive one time I fought this guy and his body disappeared, and the quest was left in permanent limbo where I couldn't finish it.
That is a common glitch, I believe, because the combat models aren't supposed to be able to be interacted with after fighting with them, so the model has to respawn in so you can interact and talk with him. Usually in Origins, this was fixed because the conversations warped you out of the game, but since this doesn't happen in Inquisition with most conversations, the workaround was respawning in the body, but sometimes the body just wouldn't reappear.
Game of the year, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, Joe, it was Game of the Year, and it beat out Dark Souls 2. Which is why they renamed it Scholar of the First Sin and not Game of the Year Edition. And if something can beat Dark Souls 2, then it deserves our utmost respect.
I'll give him that.
Also, surprisingly organized. Where did the Venatori find him?
All right, that's another President's Channel's job, not our own boys. Well, as we already implied, I am going to spare this guy and judge him when we finish up in Skyhold. This choice can earn some slight approval or disapproval shifts, but nothing really worth mentioning other than Blackwall disapproving of letting him die, likely because of his whole redemption beliefs. Anyways, now that the last major quest arc is wrapped up here, we can go and grab the Archdemon mural here and finish the last Asterium.
Hell yeah, first we finish my elite artist commission, then we kill another Temu dragon. This is the peak content we want, boys.
Well, hopefully while we are running circles all around the desert, we don't run into any fake treasures or a random illusionary oasis.
Sleepy, I know we are in a desert, but we are playing Dragon Age, not a random round of Peak. Anyways, Obama, what are the rewards for completing these Asteriums?
Hold on, I just have to make sure I didn't make a mistake, but looks like I am good to go. Well, in addition to another Archdemon mural, we get the Enchanter Mail, a level 9 mage armor with Warden colors, and the Griffin armor, which by the name is supposed to be another gray Warden armor, but the colors and emblems are incorrectly shown, and it looks like an Arlesian armor, instead for no apparent reason.
Well, all I heard is money and money because almost no armor beats out an armor that we can make ourselves. Not in terms of drip and not in terms of protection either.
Well, just like the early Asteriums, this puzzle looks completely different from how it's supposed to look, which is apparently a dude holding a lyre. Anyway, before we grab the loot, we can grab the final shard on our way to complete the shard quest and take another shot, viewers.
Another quest finished, and a note by a skeleton. Not a bad haul for a climb like this.
I don't know why that body was so tiny, but something tells me Doran doesn't have to worry about Clem drinking at the mine again.
Poor Clem, he died without someone handing him his keys after he was 12 beers in on a work day.
12 beers? Must have been a slow day at work for light hits like that.
Well, the ruin has a Veil Fire Torch, so that means I should bring Dorian front and center to find a rune schematic. I believe this one is a randomly leveled fire rune schematic. Also, the statues in this room are smaller versions of the Kirkwall statues in the gallows, likely just showcasing that this area used to belong to the Tevinter Empire, but it is still nice nostalgia remembering Kirkwall.
If we really wanted to remember Kirkwall, we could have brought our based bro Varric back to the Storm Coast and had him reference it personally.
I can mourn not seeing Kirkwall again during my own time, boys. I don't need Varric or these statues.
All right, well, there are 3 more mural locations that we should grab before we fight the High Dragon. Sorry, we aren't showing the map locations on the map itself, but we are pressed for time, so hopefully just seeing the areas is enough to help some of you. The next mural is in a cave right across from the fort we captured, which is easier to see once we clear the gas pits.
I call this cave the Candle Dive because somebody took the time to place a dozen of those things to set the mood.
It must have been the same person who sets them in Dead Space to build some romantic tension. Also looks like we got a really good shield we can put on Cassandra, too.
I will have to look if that shield is better than the Seeker shield we just got from her companion quest. But if it is, it will be a nice little upgrade. Anyways, the second to last mural is right here by the Abyssal Rift at the end of the ladders.
We still have no idea who built these ladders like in Crestwood. But there are wardens here, so maybe they built it to get a good look at the rift. Anyways, I guess the next mural piece is back at the 4th camp at the dungeon exit. Why didn't we just grab it when we were here like 10 minutes ago?
Well, maybe I just wanted to spend some more time with you guys.
Now don't give us that your ass definitely just forgot about it and you had to consort the wiki after the fact.
Both of your confidence in me is greatly appreciated, well with all but 2 of the mural pieces found. It's time we get into the High Dragon fight.
Wait, we still have 2 pieces left. Don't edge me. Obama, where are the last 2 pieces?
Heavy pause, but don't worry, Themi. I do plan on getting the last 2 pieces. It's just those pieces unlock after killing the High Dragon, so it's all connected.
This researcher nerd yaps almost as much as you do, Obama. Not only is he geeking out over the research notes that we found, but just before that bro was sitting by himself all this time and talking to himself about dragon notes.
To be fair, I am pretty sure how this guy acts isn't too different from how our editor would act if he was streaming these episodes instead of having us play them.
Careful, Joe. Keep talking like that. And I am pretty sure our editor will fuck with your portraits again.
No, wait, please. I will be good.
Plant the bait for the High Dragon.
I cannot wait to hear your observations. You must make note of how she circles the hunting.
Well, with the help of editing magic, we can skip arming the traps and get to the good stuff.
Boss, I want you to know, you're the best.
Well, we made Iron Bull happy. That has to count for something. I totally forgot about this scene since it's been so long since I have played this deep into Dragon Age Inquisition. The main theme swelling up while the dragon is slowly circling around us is a pretty hype moment.
I had this exact scene happen when I was fighting the fake archdemon and the robe army in episode 4. But yeah, this scene is a runner-up for a cool scene. Definitely a classic dragon fight. She is even trying to build up a little aura before attacking.
Well, I hope you boys enjoy this dragon fight, because after this fight, there's not really anything memorable about the remaining 9 dragon fights. There's no luring them, activating them, studying them, or anything. They just all appear. We fight them and then that's it.
Okay, maybe my memory is failing me, but didn't we already have this argument at one point in our series, boys? Like the whole single dragon versus multiple dragon debate sounds familiar.
Joe, don't act like you all of a sudden remember conversations we have in our series. It's not your job and you're not good at it anyway, so leave the remembering to Obama. That being said, quit complaining about the dragon fights. Obama, fantasy has 2 options when it comes to dragons. Either make them rare or extinct, or make them everywhere like a damn cockroach infestation. And Inquisition finally embraced the later, instead of pretending they were rare when the game is named after the damn things.
I get that the game is named after them, but I feel like wanting dragons to be memorable isn't a crime or a crazy statement. Like in Origins, the High Dragon was worshipped by a whole cult and needed a unique item to summon it by killing said cult leader. In 2, the High Dragon attacked and destroyed a mine that we owned and killed workers. We spent the game helping. The first 3 dragons we fought made sense for being here, and 2 of them at least needed some player input to spawn. But after this, it just feels like every map had a dragon because they were required to, and those memorable moments almost feel cheapened as a result.
Whatever, Obama, I don't think the simpler dragon fights take away from the more hype ones at the end of the day. Not to mention having a higher dragon kill count than any other Dragon Age protagonist does wonders for the Inquisitor's rap sheet. I mean, there's a reason most people put the Inquisitor at the top of the player character power scaling rank, and killing a shit ton of dragons is just one reason.
Okay, possibly reopening the dragon discussion in our series is one thing, but don't try to power scale player characters. That's a hot pocket that we don't want to explode in our faces, Donald.
Good catch, Joe. We almost erupted a war in the live chat, or the comments, if we kept talking about that. Viewers, just let us know if you prefer numerous dragons or rare dragons here and there in fantasy.
I say let the war erupt if it needs to happen, but whatever, I can play ball. So, Obama, What's your strategy for this high dragon fight? I noticed, unlike Joe, you haven't died in the first 2 minutes, but the same as Joe, you don't really have any fire resistance potions on anyone, which smells vaguely familiar.
Well, Cassandra has fire resistance potions since she is our main tank, but everyone else doesn't, including Iron Bull. But there's a specific reason for that. The Gray Warden armor and the Iron Bull armor I made this episode have caked in fire resistance, which is almost equal to the fire resistance potion when you include Cassandra's party resistance buff with her specialization. Dorian doesn't have any fire resistance because robes just don't have good elemental resistances as is. But just like last fight, we need Dorian equipped with lyrium to revive squad mates and give people barriers as often as possible. Giving Iron Bull regeneration potions also works with his build as well, since Reavers are all about sacrificing health to deal increased damages. So having slowly increasing health is very beneficial.
Based Reaver appreciation, Obama. There's a reason it's the second best warrior specialization after all. Your yap was good, but it could have all been prevented if you already bought the Inquisition perk that adds an extra potion. That way you can add the fire resistance to everyone and still get the extra potions you want.
Fair point. But I wanted the lockpick perk as soon as possible, and honestly, does it really look like I need that extra potion slot right now? Because I am in control right now, and this dragon has to catch up to me.
Don't help him, Donald. Barry was talking mad shit about this fight, so it's best if we see if he sinks or swims now that the challenge is on.
I wasn't talking mad shit. If anything, you were preying on my downfall and I was defending myself. There's a difference between defensive confidence and overconfident pride, like I am a Saturday cartoon villain to be taken out.
Yeah, we get it, Nerd Bomba, you're the best or whatever. But before you get too triggered by Joe, you should pay attention back to the game because the Teventer twink keeps getting downed. And isn't that the whole spear point to your strategy?
It's like the opposite of the problem I had during my last episode. Instead of everyone else dying and the mage living instead, it's the mage always dying while everyone else is fine.
But just like last time, we have Hawk sitting and waiting for us to kill the dragon so he can move from his spot. I think the dragon somehow knows that Dorian is the most important person in my party and is focusing him. It's fine because he is free to use most of my potions, but it's still suspicious in my eyes.
Obama, I know we did get kidnapped this episode, but isn't that maybe, I don't know, a little paranoid?
Yeah, I think the dragon just targets Dorian because he is building up aggro with spells or because he is the squishiest in the party, Barry.
I mean, that's possible, but at this point in the series, it could be anything. Stay on your guard is all I am saying, boys.
Hey boys, how's it going? Did you determine who the father of the dragon is and what age they are, or do you still need my expertise on that?
Oh shit. Hey Maury, how's it going? It feels like I haven't seen you at all in like a year, especially when we are recording.
Well, not to sound like too much like a white boy, but I haven't seen any of you all year. It's currently not golf season, and every Warhammer meetup has been postponed because of Donnie's president's shenanigans.
My bad. The Democrats keep leaving the world at the verge of exploding. If my day just has shenanigans, I call it a good one. It's a good thing you came when you did, though, Maury. We have been fighting a goddamn dragon for 5 minutes, and I don't think we are even halfway through it yet.
Oh, damn, is that the dragon that rules the dungeon or whatever it is Georgie does with his free time? That thing looks really damn powerful. What's your strategy for taking it out, Obama?
Oh shoot, I am glad you asked, Maury, because I was just telling the boys how I not only gave the squad fire resistance equipment to better survive this fight, but I have also been doing a lot of timed ducking and dodging to dodge the fire blasts or jump into him to avoid this wind tornado he does. And wait, hold on.
Wait, what's going on, Barry? You were kind of in the zone.
Oh, my bad. Is this an intense moment? Do you need to focus?
Well, it is, but no, that's not what I am talking about, boys. What did I just say about being alert about the AI coming to life to mess with me? One of my biggest wishes in this series is for Maury to be interested in Dragon Age, and suddenly right after we defeat the Fear Demon, here he comes. Yeah, nah, that's too big of a coincidence. This is clearly Fear trying to mess with me to capture me again, or worse, secure my death against the dragon.
All right, Obama, you leapt from slightly paranoid to full-blown insanity now. Maury is really here. There's a reason we can all see him after all, and he is just being himself.
Okay, I really think I came at a bad time now, boys. Maybe I should use my special White House entrance more sparingly. I just thought maybe I left too hastily last time I joined up and to give this another go.
Okay, see, you're trying to get me to feel bad now. That's another big fear of mine. Either I am being an asshole or I am saving my friends' lives from the fate again, and I would rather be hated than be passive and let something bad happen.
Barry, man, you're making all of us nervous here. Can you just try some deep breaths or something?
I can give myself a lie detector test, as ironic as that may look, if that puts your mind at ease.
Just don't do anything until I figure out what's going on here. I am not making assumptions again.
Look, boys, I don't really understand what is going on. None of this makes sense to me, but clearly I must have come at a bad time. 30 years of TV have taught me when to exit stage left, so I am going to come back later. Good luck on the Dungeon Dragon, though, boys.
Barry, goddammit, man. It's normal for you to scare him away, but scaring him when he was just coming around is a bigger drop bomb than what you did in the Middle East.
Oh, come on, Donald. What are the chances of Maury coming this episode after being gone nearly a year? This was all clearly a ploy by Fear to break my resolve again.
Yeah, Barry, that would make sense. Except not only could all of us see Maury, but he just texted me and George in the group chat that he thinks you take these Dungeons and Dragons way too seriously. So unless the Fear Demon somehow got my number, I think you just fumbled here.
Wait, but I thought, oh shit, boys, I think I just made a terrible mistake.
Yeah, no shit, that's what we have been trying to tell you this whole time, genius. And you're the one trying to get Maury more into this series, too.
I'll try to smooth it over with George. But yeah, you might want to keep your head down this week, Barry, and take some time to readjust your headspace.
I just was trying to keep everyone out of the dark damn. It just made sense, and goddamn. I am tired of this high dragon fight. Let me end this lizard so I can make some real goddamn progress for once. Fuck me.
All right. Are we sure Obama didn't intake some red lyrium while he was exploring the desert this episode, bro? Is acting more emotional than usual.
I think he is just really embarrassed by what went down and just needs a moment. But the red lyrium intake is a good backup theory.
Well, since the lore master needs a quick break, and he has spent all this time getting my art pieces, why don't I cover him for once and cover some Darkspawn lore on the Western approach?
I mean, that sounds heretical as fuck, but sure, go off.
All right. Well, as we saw when we were grabbing the mural pieces, there is a large gap in the land known as the Abyssal Rift. This rift has always mysteriously been there, but during the second blight, that is where the Darkspawn mainly poured out, from which blighted the land into the desert you see now. When the archdemon Zazakel got wrecked, ending the blight, the Wardens along with the dwarves built Adamant Fortress for the primary purpose of observing the rift for future Darkspawn attacks. Orlais built watchtowers in the area to aid the Wardens, but eventually as time passed and the blights waned, it became too expensive, and the fortress was abandoned until now.
Thank you, Themi, for the assist. I am better now, though.
Well, now that we heard the Darkspawn Yap perspective, and this fight is almost done. Want to cover the loot now, Obama?
Wait, no way is Barry about to finish this fight on his first try.
Read it and weep, Joe. Well, the major reward for this high dragon is the Nameless Blade. According to the item description, the knife was wielded by a Grey Warden who lived through the third blight. Once it was etched with the Warden's name, but time and use have rendered the inscription unreadable.
Damn poor guy, not only was he a part of a not memorable blight, but his name didn't even get passed down on his own weapon. Truly a fate worse than death.
Bro was a rogue in the older days, though. That guy was probably super powerful, remembered name or not. Any other rewards for this quest, Barry?
Well, there is one other good reward, that being the Ring of Armor Penetration, which is honestly good on anyone, but is especially good on dual-wield rogues like Cole. Anyways, this fight is basically over, so I think I have earned the classic praise, boys.
There is no way someone who actually foreshadowed their death this hard somehow did this fight deathless still. Who is writing this shit?
Okay, cope harder, Joe, but I have done this entire dragon fight on my first go deathless, so say it with me, boys. I have definitely earned this one.
Boom, easy money.
Easy money.
All right, good work, killing the demon-looking dragon that doesn't actually come from the abyss like I do. Now, where are those mural pieces? Because something tells me the dragon didn't eat them.
Well, when the dragon spawned in, she actually knocked out a stone that was blocking a hidden tomb right here. It's easy to miss because you probably want to loot the high dragon, then turn in the quest. But looting it here has some unique loot and minerals, as well as the last two murals for the archdemon portrait. So take another shot, viewers.
Not going to lie, I would have skipped this tomb if it was just me here. Good work, Barry.
Of course, you would have sleepy but fun fact. Even without the dragon, you can loot the tomb early by using the two-hander grappling hook to yank the stone out, which is important because if you leave the area after killing the high dragon, the stone spawns back in.
It's how the block is coded, actually. It's listed as a destructible environment, not a destructible asset for a quest. Certain items in this game can be destroyed by dragons or heavy attacks because that's what the Frostbite engine was designed to do with Battlefield to make fights more real. However, those areas respawn so that if you have another fight here, you have a chance at seeing the environment break down around you again.
I can't lie, seeing a dragon fall and smack into blocks and trees is still hype. Probably the second best thing about the Frostbite engine behind the tree and water graphics. Anyways, I guess we can recruit the dragon nerd as an agent now and finish up here.
So we have an Orlegian researcher from the university who's willing to conduct an interview with us and share his notes. This is obviously an agent for Josie, right?
You wouldn't be crazy to think that Joe, but actually, he is listed as another Leliana agent in the secrets category. I imagine it's because, in addition to the dragon diagram he looked over, he also has his own notes on dragons' patterns and weaknesses that Leliana's agents can use.
I mean, that's even better, since it helps my beautiful bard, and since she has personal experience fighting high dragons. I know she will put it to good use. Now let's go check on the Warden and the Champion.
Well, I'm not thrilled to see the traitor again. Making them wait this long is pretty funny. Hawk was probably busy telling this guy that we should probably bring some cards whenever we meet the Inquisitor anywhere. Because every goddamn mission, when we ask him to meet up, he makes us wait literal days before getting to us, and he always arrives after hearing a dragon die in the background.
I guess it's a good thing there's not a dragon fight in the Winter Palace, otherwise we might fail. Anyways, if the true neutrality of the Wardens the last 2 games hasn't pissed you off enough, here is where they dip into actual low IQ moves.
I mean, they were really desperate right now, and probably scared. They are only human, after all. Can't put the blame all on them.
Sleepy. This is less forgivable than when they sent Carta assassins after Hawk to blood sacrifice him. At least the dwarves are kind of based. This time they trusted the first dude who claimed he could help them, and it just so happened to be a Teventer Magister with a cartoon villain mustache who probably walked up to them with slaves carrying his ass. Shit can't get more obviously untrustworthy than this.
Yeah, it's one thing to close ranks or do some morally questionable things because you think you're dying, but I have to agree with Donald here. Trusting this guy shows zero survival instincts on the Warden's part. Even this scene has tons of red flags. You're telling me you see your friend's eyes glazed over like that with red energy swirling over them, and you don't stop to think, oh shoot, maybe I shouldn't blood sacrifice my homie like the other 2 did?
All right, maybe I am being a little too sympathetic here, since I remember Duncan just straight up stabbing Jory for pussying out on orders. But yeah, my sympathy starts going away once you start killing your own squad mates for rituals. It would have been smarter to just do a raw final charge in the deep roads.
Ironic your name is Livius when you are going to be Dedius by next episode, you robe-wearing bitch.
This guy is really on the short list of like 4 mages in this series. I would force tranquility on the others, being Quentin, Denarius, and that elf mage in Act 3.
Honestly, I wouldn't be mad at that. Too bad we only can do it if we are a mage ourselves.
That's an interesting idea, Obama. I will have to look into that.
All right, Donald, that sounded ominous as hell, but I won't be the one to stop what you're planning for your episode either.
This guy really turned an evil blood magic ritual to mind control people, and all he did with it was force them to emote on us.
This is admittedly kind of a joke use of blood magic compared to a lot of its other uses, but I think the point of this scene is that this guy is that much of a prick that he does take people's lives this non-seriously.
You want to hear the real joke? So Corypheus' army now consists of the Mage Rebellion and now Grey Warden mages that he binded, all led by a Darkspawn mage and his gaggle of frat bro Teventer mages. One holy smite and Corypheus' whole army just completely folds.
I mean, that many mages is a massive problem. They can probably storm with a century combo an entire nation if they want to. Think of it this way. Corypheus could create a blood mage hideout the size of a nation. If he gets the Warden mages and the Rebellion mages...
All right, that's the first intimidating thing you have ever said about Corypheus' plan. That is a DEFCON 1 level threat, and I would nuke that mage hideout from orbit.
Well, glad to have you on board, Donald. Honestly, if his team is that magic heavy, we should really be recruiting more dwarves into the party. The magic resistance would be a massive hindrance to everything Corypheus has.
I imagine then that if POTUS encountered the Corypheus army, he could cut through hundreds of them, mostly unfazed since he just resists every spell with his stats.
I don't know how much more receipts on Clarel we really need at this point after last episode, but I just realized she is a mage herself. And this ritual she agreed to has the warriors and rogues blood sacrifice, while the mages on paper get to live and control a demon army. So she really made this decision knowing that she would be one of the kind of lucky ones who gets to live and be in control, while her subordinates pay the price.
I am not sure if we were supposed to look at it like that, but the turning point of this whole plan was to have Clarel summon the Fear Demon to be bound to her, so she was always expecting to live through the ritual plan. That does admittedly make her look way worse than she already does with this blood ritual.
I guess as a typical Orlesian, she believes in sacrifices and dangers for thee, but not for me.
No, Livius, you're the tool.
Also, you tell him, Dorian, don't ever let this tool get the last word in.
This quest is really testing all the Warden's good charity that we built up from Origins. POTUS would be absolutely flabbergasted at this nonsense happening right now, and it's probably a good thing he wasn't here to see this bullshit.
The game is making it very clear how much of a willing choice this ritual was with the Wardens, so much so that the only defense for them is a hypothetical. They were scared rather than an actual excuse. I believe this was supposed to be presented as morally gray, but this does feel more black and white the more information you find out about the Orlesian Wardens.
You know, at the risk of comparing this game to Mass Effect, I really wish this combat option here had a renegade interrupt where we throw a murder knife at this guy, like in Dragon Age 2.
Oh, please. The Elder One showed me how to deal with you.
Bro really thought he is doing something with his little red trick. He should probably know that Corypheus himself couldn't hold us down. So what hope does his little backup dancer have?
You stole that from my master. He's been forced to seek other ways.
This guy made the biggest mistake a cartoon villain can make. He assumed he had victory in his grasp and started monologuing.
Skill gap, plus easy money, plus get better, kid.
Taste the power of original Mountain Dew, bitch. Well, don't worry, Aramon, we just gave you a taste this time. Next time we will make sure to give you the full course meal of curb stomp. Now I guess we have to deal with the 3 warden mages that cost 3 whole wardens their lives.
Another obscure observation for the road since I just noticed this. But while Alistair and Stroud have a basic Origins starter shield, Loghain is actually equipped with the wooden kite shield that is sold by the Ostagar Quartermaster in Origins. A very nice touch that he is using a shield so many associate with Ostagar, almost like he is reflecting back on the moment his life changed with his shield choice.
All right, that's great. The war criminal thinks back on his crimes. Good for him. You should probably focus back up on this fight, though, Obama. It's the last one of the episode, and so far they all have barriers, and no one's health is going down.
I wouldn't worry too much about this fight. Dorian and Hawk are perfectly in sync with each other's attacks. They got this.
Well, we cleared out the normal demons, however. I think 2 of the Warden mages are promoted, though, just like the camp fight earlier on, though, so that's fun.
Oh shit, you're screwed, Obama. Rack up the death counter.
I'm not screwed. I know what to do this time, and we have Loghain and Hawk for extra support. I think I am going to skip ahead, though, since we have already reached the 2-hour mark. I have a feeling this mage fight might take 5 or 6 minutes on its own.
Well, Iron Bull, Loghain, and most embarrassingly, Hawk went down during the fight, but we still came out on top in the end.
This fight would have been over far quicker if we picked Donald Hawk instead Sleepy.
Bite me, Donald.
I didn't even know the Warden contact and Hawk can go down, being honest, but granted, I don't think I have ever played this fight with the random mages getting promoted, so it's a first time for everything tonight.
Well, now we have to let Hawk and Loghain summarize what we just learned from the Queen of the Magisters over there.
Hawk is surprisingly angry at the mages for turning to blood magic. I get he sided with the Templars, but his wife is literally a former desperate blood mage who did it to help people. You would think he would be more lenient here.
Not only did Hawk lose his mom to blood magic, but he lived in Kirkwall almost a decade and dealt with hundreds of blood mages. I think he is just more tired of blood magic than everyone else is.
Bad decisions, and it never matters. In the end, you are always alone with your actions.
I know I am as well. Listen to Hawk. If you won't listen to me, the robes have had it too good for too long.
Warden fortress, adamant. I suspect we'll find the wardens there. I suppose it's fortunate.
I love that map joke since it's a reference to his map gifts in Origins. And POTUS did actually give Loghain an ancient Tevinter map, which may have included the Western approach.
I hate thinking about gifting this traitor anything, but I do kind of miss giving companions gifts like in Origins.
Probably one of the only genuine improvement from Veilguard is they brought back companion gifts again, and they even had the companions display the gifts this time around. Anyway, before we head back, I have one final detour. I want to grab a circle artifact for Vivienne, destroy a lyrium shard for Varric, and capture the last landmark to take one final shot, viewers.
This is the only time the Royal Robe has gotten any screen time this episode, but I guess I will take it. Now let's go. Let Obama get his first judgment scene.
I see Barry is going for the intimidation factor with his throne, since that thing is twice the size of him.
That's the Ferelden throne and window panes, right, Obama?
Good eye, Donald. I figured it's important to go back to our Ferelden roots this episode. Anyways, the options here are to imprison him, which earns Cole disapproval as always, return him to Corypheus after marking him as an informant, which earns Solus, Sarah, and Iron Bull approval, while Varric, Dorian, Cole, and Blackwall disapprove, and then recruit him as an informant, which has Solus, Iron Bull, Varric, and Dorian approve, while Cassandra, Sarah, and Cole disapprove, but using the Underworld perk just has all of them slightly disapprove, which is only 1 point.
Cole disapproves no matter what, I guess, since he would have preferred we mercy killed him earlier. I mean, imprisoning him is just lame. So either make him an agent or ship him back to Corypheus.
Too bad there's no direct execute option, but I guess I agree with Sleepy.
Leave what happened in the approach behind us, Inquisitor, and I can put them all at your disposal.
All right, well, we have the Smuggler perk, so we might as well make good use of it.
Time to make us some money, you tanky Tevinter traitor.
Someone who can smuggle magical artifacts to Tevinter and back shouldn't be wasted on court diplomacy. Bring those artifacts back to the Inquisition. Procure something really useful, and we might loosen the shackles.
Your worship knows value when he sees it. I won't disappoint.
Well, now it's time for the moment some, if not many, have been waiting for. We have the flowers, poetry, and the scented candles. Let's go put our religious riz to good use.
It's something Barry's hard for, but this was a group effort this time around. Good work, boys. Love it when a goon comes together.
Oh my God, oh my, okay, it's happening.
to
Everyone
speak
stay calm and stay hard. No, wait, just calm, right? Calm. You got this, Barry?
It's
There's a
okay,
grove
Obama.
just
This is a
outside
sure
the
thing.
skyhole.
You're even taking her to a romantic grove with candles. This is all but
You're
secured.
certain?
I am. Trust me.
Just get poetic with it, Barry. You got this.
Okay, let's do this. Cassandra, before you. I was lost, a longing vessel
On
left
aching
wounded at the
branch
coast,
do
unaware of
blossoms
the
grow.
cost. But now I see a
wind
light
a
stream of
hollow
love
breath.
flowing like a river. And despite my strength, I must admit, you make me quiver. I can deny myself no
carries the
longer.
scent of
You are a
honeysuckle,
blessing to the sense, not an
sweet
angel
as the
seen in my
lover's
air.
kiss.
Birds melodious or bird fair, be absent hence.
brings the
Thou
promise
art
of
my
more
everything,
tomorrows,
and I shall
of
tell no
sighs
lie.
and
As you
whispered
hold and
bliss.
crush me, the joy could make me die.
Bro really added a few Shakespearean
can't
words
be
here and there to
serious.
sound official.
Maybe it's a good thing no one else is in your body, Obama. I feel like whatever you just did
I
also
can,
counts as a
and I
ritual
am.
cleanse.
All right, Obama,
That
good
is
effort on
the
your
poem
part,
you
but
chose.
why don't we let the expert smut reader Cassandra take it from here?
What's wrong with it?
Carmenum de Amatus. I thought this one was banned. His lips on mine speak words not voiced, a prayer, which travels down my spine like flames that shatter night. His eyes reflect the heaven stars, the Maker's light. My body opens, filled and blessed, my spirit there.
Not merely housed in flesh, but brought to life. Shall we read another?
Oh God, boys, we are actually kissing right now. I can't handle this.
They will say one of two things about me. That
Oh
I
man, he
stood
really
at
does sound like a mourning dove when he goons. I almost forgot.
Joe, why are you sideways on the
that it
screen?
was meant to be.
Censorship, my dear
Well,
Donald.
they will say I
This
was
scene
led
is for
astray
Obama's
by the wiles
gooning.
of
Only
an
the viewers
elfin
will just have to
madman.
goon elsewhere.
I don't care what they say. What do you believe?
I believe you are a faithful man. I believe you are part of the Maker's plan. Beyond that, I believe only that you are capable of anything. And it frightens me. I have never known anything like it. I've been with only one.
Hey,
other
it's
man
not my
in
romance or anything, but did Cassandra really have to mention being with another man right
My
after
adventure
smashing?
when I was
Just
still
seems
very
like
young.
poor timing.
It doesn't
He
really
died
matter
at the
anymore.
conclave.
Cassandra has that dollish jungle
I
fever,
will not let
and that's the
Ruiz
important part.
win. I will not let him take you from me.
Well, as is presidential tradition, congratulations on losing your virginity in our series finally, Obama.
Technically, I've hooked up with Marty and the Elven Twink in the Blooming Rose. But thank you.
There wasn't a sex scene. It doesn't count.
Oh God, kissing again. Oh God, that felt good, and best part, just like Origins. We can kiss and be intimate anytime we want.
Damn, that's a fine-looking body.
Hell yeah, brother, that's what I'm talking about.
Wait, what? No, not your matters of flesh. I'm talking about the mural over there, Obama. That's a fine-looking dragon.
That it is, bro.
All right, well, with the romance taken care of and the judgments handed down, why don't we close it here and let Donald pick it back up next time, Barry?
Oh, sure thing, Joe. Viewers, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to leave a like for Cassandra and a comment on what your take is with how feats and perks should be handled in the Dragon Age series. Next time, Donald is going to tackle his next and last main quest in Inquisition, and probably tackle Bull's companion quest too. So subscribe to stay up to date and stay safe. But for now, Obama out. You know what, I'm feeling good today. So Cold Stone is on me tonight. Let's go, boys.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Well, that's one. You coming, Donald?
Oh, I'd never pass on free food. Just let me respond to some emails and I'll be down in 5.
All right, just don't take long. I can only contain Joe for so long.
All right, he's gone. What did you want to ask? I'm missing ice cream here.
Oh, it's nothing major. I just wanted to confirm you're playing next episode is all.
Yeah, I am. There's a normal cycle we always do. Why do you ask?
Oh, no reason. Enjoy the ice cream. I'll be over here deck building.